I don't know what I'm doing here. I came all this way with Paul for him to get himself arrested.
And you are?
Luke.
You a doctor, Luke?
He's also a writer.
Did Jesus like telling stories?
He told loads of stories. He talked like that all the time.
But why?
There was once a sower.
There was one young woman who thought the very same.
Once man on his own journey.
Found the treasure of the great maestro and the 3 talented students.
We need to keep the city safe.
James is getting worried.
Understandably.
Luke, come on. We waited for you for 4 days and you never came.
Our net will be his story.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to what is going to be our biggest Testament live stream to date. I'm really excited about this one. If you don't know me, my name is Paul Syrstad. I am the director and the creator of Testament, which, little quick update about it, or not update rather, look back, started off its journey as a movie, which is completely out now, available on the Angel Studios app. It is there. It is ready to watch. You can watch it whenever you like. It's free. It's called Testament: The Parables Retold. And that movie was picked up by Angel Studios, and now we are developing the same idea into a multi-season TV show. We're going to be journeying through the Book of Acts, starting on the day of Pentecost, all the way through to the end of the Book of Acts, bringing in a lot of the epistles as well. It's going to be great fun. I'm really looking forward to it. But thank you so much for joining us. This is an epic live stream. So if you join us for a little bit, or if you join us later, that's fine. Welcome. Would be great to know where you are joining us from. If you type into the chat, even hello, say hi to one another. I'd loved on our previous live streams. I saw people were encouraging one another. That's wonderful. Not only is that great for each other, but it's also great for the mysterious algorithm that exists on YouTube. It makes kind of YouTube know that, hey, people are watching this video, we should push it to other people. Because actually these live streams are one of the ways that we reach more people and find new audiences. So thank you so much. Now we've got a great packed day. I've got 6 guests joining us, and I currently am in the middle of nowhere at the moment. I'm still traveling. I am somewhere with not great Wi-Fi, not great signal. So apologies for all the delays and all the things that happen on my end, but we'll power through, and hopefully all the other guests have got great connections. So we're going to soon watch our short torch, but before that, it's actually, there's only, as you know, we've been open for investments into the TV series, which is going to go towards our production budget for season 1. And as it stands right now, we only have 13 hours left that we're open. So in 13 hours or 12 hours and a little bit, we actually close. Well, it says 14 there. It said 13 earlier. Now I'm confused. Oh, no, it's just gone to 13. There we have it. So you can see that's the amount we've raised, which is awesome. But if you haven't invested and you're still interested and you still want to make this happen and be part of the Testament family, you can head over to angel.com/testament. And there you can invest, you can own a piece of the show, which is really what it's all about. We're trying to build this Testament community, and we're going to make this together, which is very, very exciting. So for now, I will show you the 5-minute short kind of clip that's taken from the film, which kind of gives you a little bit of taste what the series might be like, or will be like, or could be like. It'll be even better because, as you know, the film was made for a measly $50,000, so we're going to up that by quite a bit. But yeah, here is a short clip from Testament: The Parables Retold. Then join me again. I'm going to play a a load of little short videos, and at the end of the whole live stream, I'm actually going to share some never seen before footage, which is a blooper reel, which no one has seen aside from the cast and crew. So look out for that. But for now, here is our 5-minute clip that is what's serving as our torch for the series. Here is a part of the film.
Are you all right?
I'm not used to all this running and hiding. It puts me on edge.
Did you enjoy the meeting, though?
Yeah, it was good. And nice of you to include that story for the children at the end.
Well, actually, that was more for the adults in the room.
Really?
Yeah. What did you make of it?
Well, it was the sewing.
Mm-hmm.
And the seeds?
The sewing of the... You didn't understand it?
No, I didn't.
That's okay. To be honest, we didn't understand it the first time you told it. No, he had to explain it to us afterwards in private.
So wait, Jesus would tell this story to everyone?
Oh, he told loads of stories. He talked like that all the time. He'd leave half of his listeners baffled, enrage the ministers, and then leave us to figure out what those stories meant.
But why?
Why what?
But why teach with stories? Doesn't that make everything confusing?
I mean, you should know, right? That's what you're doing, writing his story.
No. This is for a friend back home. A report, more of a report. Words, the facts.
Okay, can I give you some advice? Facts are good. And words, they can impact a moment. But a story, a really good story, that can change a life. Come on, it's just a bit further. Way.
Truth.
Life.
You have a warehouse? How?
Generous donation from the Barnabas family.
Have you met James before?
As in Jesus' brother? Yeah, briefly when we first arrived.
They're all waiting at the council room. James is getting worried.
Understandably.
Hi there.
Zach. Luke, good to meet you.
Just through there.
Should I?
Yes! They managed to evacuate before the guards got there.
What about Ben's gathering?
No word yet.
Mary, glad to see you're okay.
Any news on what happened today?
I'm still trying to get a full picture, but they hit us hard. 4 safe houses breached and over 20 arrested.
We've lost the majority of the food banks in the city centre.
Why now?
I was still rolled up from Paul's antics at the temple.
No, that was days ago.
Truth is, we don't know. Our contacts at the ministerial council aren't responding. Everything seems to be in some kind of lockdown.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Unless Paul's given us up.
He would never do that.
Wouldn't be surprising, would it? Given his history.
Deborah, bringing up people's
James,
history.
the last time Paul was here in this very room, he almost split the church. I'm sorry, but I still don't trust them.
It wasn't him.
And you are?
Sorry. Hi.
We've met. You travelled with Paul, came with him to the capital last week.
Luke.
That's right.
Of course he's going to say it
Deborah,
wasn't.
please. Well, do you know what's going on?
Maybe. When I was hiding, I heard some of the temple guards talking. It sounded like they were searching for someone in particular. The fisherman.
Clear. It's empty. They knew we'd come here.
No sign of the fisherman, sir. He's not here.
Move on. We keep looking. You can't have gone far.
If he's here, we need to know. Mary, make contact with the remaining safe houses, see if they know anything, find him.
Julian, can we...
You'll stay here, Luke.
Yeah, I'll see you again, yeah? God willing. Take care. James, keep it up. Don't forget to eat.
Deborah, you and I need to go over strategy for replenishing food supply. David, you're on lookout tonight. And Luke, welcome. Zach will show you where you're staying. Try and get a few hours of sleep. You never know what God has planned for tomorrow.
I don't know what I'm doing. Everyone here seems so confident.
Welcome back, everyone. So, as you know, this is our last day of the crowdfund that we're doing now, which we're only open for 13 hours more. And we've got a comment. I was watching Testament. Well done. I'm sorry, the signal on my end is so bad. I actually can't read that because of my Wi-Fi, which I didn't expect. So sorry, I actually can't see that at all. However, what we're doing right now is... I can see that, though. Happy birthday. Thank you very much. It was my birthday yesterday, so I celebrated, which is lovely. Thank you very much. We're on our last 13 hours of investing. So if you haven't invested and you are wanting to invest, you can do so by visiting angel.com/testament. Right now it's great. We've kind of hit some goals, but there are more to go, which is exciting. So thank you everyone who's invested already. There's more updates coming soon. I'm hoping. I know we haven't launched any. You might have seen some of Angel Studios have got some merch launched. We haven't launched any merch yet, or any t-shirts and stuff. We're still kind of working on some things, and kind of what we feel is going to be useful and what we feel is going to be good. Because I think some really cool stuff has been done for this upcoming series, but kind of want to make some stuff for the film as well. Because there's some great quotes in that, which I know people have been going on. So I'm about to bring on my next guest, but before that, a little bit about how we made the film. We shot the Testament section, not the parables, but the Testament section in 10 days. And what happened after every single day of filming, I would go home and I would make rushes. You kind of collate some of the footage and you just... no audio, really bad color grading, but a little bit of music and just to kind of get a feel. So then the next day with all the cast, I would show them on a phone or something, hey, this is what we shot yesterday. And it kind of gets everyone excited. It's what some directors did when I was an actor. And I really loved that process. So I really wanted to do it on the film. So I'm going to share with you our 10 days of rushes, and we're going to spread them over the course of the live stream. And day 10 is when I put in some of those bloopers. So right now we're going to roll day 1. This is the first day of shooting that we did, and this is the rushes that I showed the cast and crew from the day 1 of filming Testament. So that was our day 1 of shooting, and what I got to show the cast and crew. Obviously not the music that's in the film, because we had our brilliant composer, but it gives everyone a little feel. But at the same time, what we had, and this is really to introduce my next guest, is part of kind of my heart is to raise up new filmmakers, new talents, and also just people who want to be involved in this sort of stuff. So we actually started an internship program throughout the film. So we had a guy called Ryan who would head up our interns and actually take them through the process, get a lot of behind the scenes footage. And one of those interns is a true talent and actually is a phenomenal photographer. So she actually did all the stills photography during the shoot, which is amazing. And she's incredible. She also did some editing, which we'll show a video of that later. She's a true talent. So please welcome and show your support to Eleanor.
Hello.
Eleanor. Hey, how are you?
Hi. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. All the better that you're here now. So, Eleanor, you were with us for the whole of the shoot for 10 days with us. I mean, first of all, it would be nice. Why did you want to get involved? Because you reached out to us. I know we knew each other beforehand, but actually, I mean, you reached out completely out of the blue. What made you want to be involved?
I mean, before you and I even knew each other, and I like saw you in church and stuff, I don't know how I stumbled across your content on YouTube, but yeah, I was basically fangirling all of your content. Like, if you go on my YouTube, you can see every single video from Raw Light has been like watched. Like, it was, yeah, I stumbled on your content and I just like went on a full. I just watched every single video and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. I could see like, because I went to like the first videos and like the progression and how your editing got better. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like this person is so cool. Like this is stuff that I want to do. And it's just that you could see how much passion you had for it. But also what really interested me was how much importance you put to detail in cinematography and you made it look good. And I felt like there's a lot of like, not only did you make it look good, but the stories you were telling were really compelling throughout. And I was like, this is like something that is missing in a lot of like Christian films that I was watching at the time. And I was like, it's just the way he tells stories. And even when you did your like spoken poetry and all that. So basically, I was basically a fangirl. And so when I saw the opportunity, I was like, yeah, I have to apply. And yeah, I had so much respect for you that I was like, I'm not just going to text him and be like, hey, can I just be an intern on your thingy? I went through like the whole process. I prepared my interview and then I got there and you're like, oh, hi.
Oh, amazing. We just had Sean invested $250. Thank you so much. That's amazing. I actually can't see the names because they're blurry at the moment, but thank you very much. That's beautiful. Yeah, no, Eleanor, you it was really surprising when you kind of opened up on the Zoom interview, and I was like, oh, why didn't you just text me? And you were like, no, I really just wanted to apply the normal way. I was like, oh, okay. So throughout the 10 days, then what did you pick up? What did you learn? I mean, was it worth it? What did you pick up?
Yeah, it was definitely worth it. I mean, I've never been on a film set before, and you've probably set the bar up way too high now, but it was really a really good experience. And I really loved the fact that obviously I was on there as an intern, but Ryan was so passionate about actually teaching us that we were properly like involved in it, and he showed us how to set up the lights, how to set up a good staging for an interview, how to fix the camera settings, and it was cameras that I had never used before. So yeah, he fully showed us how to mount the camera, how to put it on our shoulders, how to make sure it wasn't like too heavy, how to properly film and like all of these things. So it was extremely beneficial because we actually learned things. And he would just show us how it's done, and he'd be like, yep, you're filming you're doing the BTS for the next scene, and we just got on with it. And for me that is really helpful because I'm the type of person that learns by doing things. So it was incredibly helpful, and yeah, I learned a lot.
Good. That's good. I'm glad. That's phew, because I hadn't asked you that before. It's like it wasn't worth it at all. I was
like, no, I didn't learn anything. I didn't learn anything at all.
Yeah, it would have been awful. So what, in terms of because you obviously came to the premiere, you've seen the film, you know a little bit about what we're doing. What would you say is that? Why this project? What is the benefit of doing something like this, retelling these, the story, the Book of Acts, and for the film, the parables in this modern setting? What do you see as a benefit for that?
I feel like our roles as Christians anyways is to preach the gospel, is to go and make of disciples all nations, and to it's sort of, we're expected to do this kind of domino effect. And I find that the way that you've told this story, I mean, in the Bible, Jesus is telling stories, and I believe that when Jesus was telling his stories, they were pretty stories.
Sorry, don't know what happened there.
I can hear an echo.
Carry on, Eleanor.
What voice? Is it better? Oh yeah. Is it? Yeah, I think so. But yeah, I just find that Jesus told stories, and I believe that those stories were compelling stories. And I think it's so important to tell this story in a way that people can actually relate to the story and not think of the Bible as an ancient text that has nothing to do with us today, because it is so relatable. And so I find that in the way that you've told these stories and the setting that you've put these stories in, and the fact that you've made the stories compelling, and the cinematography is amazing. Like it's something that is captivating. And from even reviews that I've heard of people that are not Christian, they enjoyed actually watching the film. And yeah, I think it's such an important project because it kind of is a bridge for that gap that people seem to have of, like, you know, what can the Bible actually, how can I actually relate to this word? How can I actually relate to what this is telling me? And I feel like, yeah, you've done that in such a great way. And, you know, you're just basically living out what we're meant to be doing as Christians and using that talent that you have to actually tell good stories. So yeah, I think it's amazing, and it's very important.
That's great, Eleanor. Okay, so here's what this live stream is really all about: getting people together from who did the film and asking, what was your favourite moment? And you've chosen a photo that is your favourite moment. Is that right? Let's bring that one up. Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay, Eleanor, tell us, why is this your favourite moment?
I absolutely love this photo. I mean, when I was taking pictures of the actors anyways, they're super comfortable in front of the camera, so it's not a very difficult thing to do. But I just love this photo because it just shows how authentic and how much fun they were actually having on set. And I mean, this whole thing with the apple was just that there was a scene, and when he was acting, James had this apple, and it was this really serious scene, and he was just munching on this on this apple, and it just became some running joke. And so when I was taking a group picture of them, they're like, "Oh, we should use the apple," and they just went into that. And I just think, I mean, personally, what I love the most about photography is I love event photography, and I love BTS because I'm able to take pictures that are candid with raw emotion. And I feel like in this picture, you can just tell people's personalities so well. And yeah, it's just a great shot, and it just really shows how much the cast actually like got to know each other and actually enjoyed each other's company on set. So yeah, it is my favorite picture. It just was a moment out of the blue. They were like, yeah, let's do this, and it was a great shot. So
amazing. And also, Charles just invested $150. Thank you, Charles. That's incredible. Thank you very much. That's awesome. Yeah, guys, if you are interested in investing still, head over to angel.com/testament, and you can do that. Eleanor, yeah, I think that photo does encapsulate a lot of what our days were like, and hopefully what all of our days will be like on the series. Eleanor, you're a phenomenal photographer. You're an amazing talent. You were a pleasure to have on set. You were absolutely amazing. You really brought the energy. You were Christ-like. It was beautiful. It was amazing. But also, after that, we, when we kind of got with Angel Studios, there was a lot of content that we started having to make. And I know Kenneth reached out and said, Eleanor, would you fancy editing a video? And you went, yeah, just send everything to me. I'll put something together. And Eleanor created one of the most beautiful videos, I think, that we've ever made. And Eleanor made it. So it's a credit to who you are and your talent. So thank you, Eleanor, for joining us. And we will round this off by showing your video, Faith Like a Mustard Seed. Thanks, Eleanor.
Thank you so much.
47, take 1, take 2. 47, take 3. They had no depth of earth. When the sun came up, they were scorched. As long as it connects people to the parable of the sower, brings people back to the biblical text, and maybe gives them a fresh understanding of it, that would be amazing.
I just think the whole thing is blessing. I truly believe that it has like God's hand on it, and we're privileged to be a part of it and witness it.
It's just really amazing how sometimes you realise that you're capable of more than you thought you were. And here we are, and this is the 4th instalment of the Parables series, and this is the 4th big project we've done, and things have just seemed to come together, and it's a bit random and weird and good and great and amazing. So I'm really proud and I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful.
I always knew these films were going to be released together. Wasn't that just awesome? I love that video. I loved it so much. I remember when Eleanor first sent it to me, I was watching it going, this is amazing. So thank you so much, Eleanor. Thank you so much for joining us as well. Yeah, she's amazing. So we're going to have our next guest in just a few minutes. But until then, in case you are joining us now and you've missed what we're doing, what we're talking about, this is Testament. We are a new upcoming multi-season TV series that is going to retell the Book of Acts, but in this modern setting, the world that looks very much like yours and mine today. And we're starting on the day of Pentecost. We're going to move through the rest of the Book of Acts. And it's all based on a movie that we've already done called Testament, the Parables Retold, and it's out and it's available on the Angel Studios app. It is available. It is free. I mean, it's on Amazon as well and iTunes as well, but it's not free over there. So watch it on the app. Go to the Angel Studios app, download it, and watch it there. What else? Of course. And it is our last 12 hours of investing at the moment. We have been open for about 30 days, and we have got 13 hours left to invest. And really, that's just 12 and a bit. So if you are interested in investing, head over to angel.com/testament. This is our final push for this crowdfund. So I believe we can do it. We can see that number grow and our investors grow. So thank you so much, everyone who's already invested and been part of the Testament family. I'm really overcome actually. We've had like 661 people invest so far, which I think is just to think how we funded our first feature and our first short films with bake sales and stuff like that. That number is just incredible. So thank you everyone already. It's absolutely incredible. Right, what we are doing now is we are going to be having a special guest that actually no one has met yet unless you've watched our Instagram lives. We had him on once on an Instagram live. But the thing is, if you've been following Testament, if you know our pages, you definitely know his face because his face is everywhere. He is absolutely wonderful. He's a great actor and he plays the role of Luke, the doctor and the writer in our film. So without further ado, please show some support and show some encouragement to Josh Beckman. Josh!
Hello, Paul.
Hey, Josh.
How are you? I'm good. Do you know what? I was just about to say, I don't know if I think there might be a slight delay, so I do apologize if we start speaking over each other. But I feel like over lockdown we had 2 years of this, so we should be at this stage good at waiting for delays. I was going to say, I mean, this is absolutely fantastic. Every time I come on for an interview, things get even more mega. I feel like a little bit like I'm like on Eurovision. If anyone across the pond knows what Eurovision is, but that competition, so I feel like I should be announcing points for Norway.
Oh, well, no, actually, you're singing. We're going to be judging you. So whenever you're ready. Oh, sorry, the internet connection's gone. There we go. Josh, you were absolutely fabulous in the film. I think everyone who's watched it can attest to that. And you were an application, didn't know you you just kind of applied, watched some little bits, and then kind of had I think a Zoom audition with you, then in person, and it was in the room that we all were like, we want to work with Josh. That was it, and we're so glad that we got to be able to, because you delivered something beautiful, poignant, and outstanding, and I'm very, very blessed that we got to capture it and show it to the world. So Josh, you
are
have
the one with compliments.
When I asked, it's all flattery, you see. No, you chose two moments, I think, that are your favourite moments from the movie. So why don't you tee the first one up for us, and then they can play it, and we can talk about it.
I will do. I'm trying to remember which one came first, but I think I know. I mean, having looked at that rush from the first day, I can't believe I didn't put the table scene, because that was amazing. But I think I'm trying to remember what I put first. Oh, I do remember it. Of course. So the scene right after the parable, the hidden treasure, I think it was, and it's with Barnabas. So we've just, well, for a bit of context, I think I've just had to sort out an infected foot, and so to distract him, I asked him to tell a little story, and so this is sort of this is the moment after the story has been told, and Luke has time to reflect.
Okay, let's play that little clip.
Take one of these 3 times a day for the next couple of weeks. You'll be right as rain.
Oh, good. All done then?
All done? You'll need to keep off that foot for a while. It's not exactly going to be a comfy walk. That story, it's like yours, isn't it?
How so?
Well, from what I've heard, you gave everything you had away to the church when it first began. Everything. Even when it was hardly more than a few thousand people everyone thought were going mad. You gave it all away for
the kingdom.
Right.
Paul didn't spend much time talking about the kingdom, did he? Don't let him fool you. It's only because he's so busy growing it.
I made us some food.
I told you were special.
We're ready with them.
There we go. That was that's a deeply tender scene. Yeah, it was very, very good. I think the scene beforehand was the one that we got our Luke's to audition with. Was that right? One of the doctor scenes.
Yes. Well, yes, it was. It was actually when I'm downstairs. Oh God, do you know? I mean, there were a few rounds. One of them has something to do with, I think, when Barnabas is ready to see, or just before I go up and see Barnabas. Yeah, and he said he's ready.
I remember
to see
there was the, because what we really liked that you managed to capture was, because obviously throughout the whole film, Luke is, a little bit lost, a little bit puppy-eyed, like, oh, where am I going? Oh, okay, I'm going this way, I'm going that way. But suddenly when he steps into his role as a doctor, this is a role that he's comfortable with, this is the role he knows. So it was about seeing if, the actors that we were auditioning could do that flip, could do the whole, don't know what's going on here, and then I'm completely in control. I know exactly, and I'm cool and collected. And I think, it's a very clear shift that you play, and I really enjoyed it. Did you find that easy, or was that what was the kind of process for those two things?
Yeah, I mean, we were really fortunate that you made time to rehearse with us before we started shooting. And I think when we did run this scene, and I mean, I can't say this enough, and it goes without saying, working across, you're only as good as the actor you're working with, and I mean, Anthony is an institution. So,
It's wonderful.
being in the room with him. He did a lot of the work, even though it may not have even looked like it. And just having someone to riff off like that and having that kind of presence in the space made it really, really easy for me to clock into what was needed from Luke in that. And you're right, I think especially in that house, with the scenes in that house, I think afterwards also there's a moment at the dinner table, and it has a very different pace to the rest of the film. Once we'd fostered that, once we'd sort of generated that atmosphere and that environment, it just, I found it so easy to click back into it. But yeah, I can't say enough. But Kenneth and Anthony, absolutely brilliant. So I didn't have to do that much.
Oh, we have someone there saying, loved you in your role as Luke, Josh. That's from Laurie.
Thank you to the person. And again, I can't see their name. It's pixelated. I wish I could see this person's name. Now
Laurie
that's
who
a question.
said that, and I can't see the name here. Is Josh going to be in the new series? I haven't asked him to be the truth, and and to be fair, he hasn't asked me either. No, it's going to be a strange one because we're going to do this. The film is set 20 years after when our series is going to begin. So we're doing a clean slate with actors, a clean slate with characters. So who knows? I mean, maybe we're still in the writing process at the moment. So casting is very far from our minds right now. But I can honestly say that I would love to work with Josh again, whether it is in this project or another one. I'm all in. So Josh, if you're up for it, I'm ready to work with you.
You know, it's exactly the same as reciprocated here, Paul. It's only a matter of time, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh wow, Jerry just invested. Is that did I hear 4,000? I can't read it. 1,000. Amazing, $1,000. Thank you so much, Jerry.
So much.
Sorry, I heard someone say 4.
Incredible.
That's a beautiful. Thank you so much, Jerry. I think one of the perks with that get quite fun actually. But yes. And what was I going to say? What were you talking about? Oh yeah, and but also of course. We talked about Barnabas, the character, who Anthony, as you said, the institution that is Anthony, played wonderfully. Is that for us in our film is the first time that Luke, who's been traveling with the Apostle Paul all the way around, meets Barnabas, who was obviously Paul's other traveling companion beforehand, as is John Mark. So we kind of have this, idea that Luke knows a lot about Barnabas, maybe not everything. But I think the note that we decided to go on was like, you're still a doctor, you still have to be professional, but you're going to operate on Beyonce.
Yes, it was. It was the separation between my internal life of fangirling, freaking out, as Eleanor put it, and then, but externally trying to keep my cool. Otherwise, he wasn't going to trust me to go anywhere near him with a heated knife.
Yeah, that was one of my favourite moments as well. I'm just going to need a sharp kitchen knife. Gulp. But that was wonderful because you kind of with these figures, there is all this cross pollination between who was there and who was where, and to get to imagine some of these moments in this film, I as a writer and a director found really fun, and it was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too.
So we have your second moment, which comes a little bit after that, doesn't it? Second favourite moment.
Yeah. You've pushed me on this one because it has escaped my memory. Do you want to give me a clue?
Okay, it's after the chase. It's after the chase.
Oh, yes. Yes. This is almost polar opposite in terms of a scene where Luke is pushed really and truly out of his comfort zone. I mean, it's been nudged at all along the story, but this is almost his moment of really questioning himself. A moment of quote unquote weakness, I guess, but it's not framed as such, I guess. And that's what's the great thing about the stories that you wrote, and obviously the stories that they were based on originally, is that any point of weakness isn't a point of weakness; it's a point of learning and a point of growth. So yeah, this moment, it felt poignant when we were doing it, and frankly, I just wanted to relive it again.
Yeah, no, fair. And I think we had this element as well of throughout the film. Really, is Luke's journey of, because Luke, famously, Luke is the person who's accredited of writing the Gospel of Luke and writing the Book of Acts, which is the story that we're doing. So in our version, we have Luke as this person who's not a confident writer. He doesn't see himself as a writer. He sees himself as a doctor and as one thing. Yeah. And this is the scene where that kind of really gets prodded quite heavily by one of the characters. So yeah, this I loved, and I loved the moment. We'll talk about it later. Yeah, let's have a look at this moment of Josh's second favorite moment.
Did Barnabas send you?
No.
What? Who are you? How do you know where we'd be?
Same way you knew to wait where you were meant to.
Peter.
Mark.
It's so good to see you, son.
You must be Luke. Mary said to expect you.
She found you.
I certainly did. But stubborn as always, he refused to leave the city until he got what he came for.
Where were you? We waited for you for 4 days and you never came. And now we've left Barnabas.
I'm sorry, Mark. I tried to get to both of you, but there were so many guards. More than usual. And I was spotted. I am sorry.
Why was security so tight?
Prime Minister Ananias was on the move. Heading north to Governor Felix to speak against Paul.
Paul? You know where he is?
He's been kept under guard in Herod's compound.
Has he been sentenced?
I don't know. But, knowing Paul, he's probably making the most of it and preaching to anyone who will hear him.
And those that won't?
I have no doubt.
So what's the plan?
For now, we rest up. Wait until tomorrow for the search parties to clear. Then we get out of the capital. We head west to the shores. I have some friends in a small port. We'll get a boat from there.
Okay, you come on, let me take a look. No arguing. Come on, let me see.
You're hurt.
Like I said, I was spotted.
Well, they've stood up. I mean, you're all right, but less of that running. Huh?
Some nice stitch work there.
Yeah, I'm used to patching up the boys.
You a doctor, Luke?
Yeah, I am.
He's also a writer.
Are you now?
No, I'm not.
Yes, he is.
No, I'm not. I'm not the creative type.
You're always right whenever I see you.
Okay, yeah, but they're just reports. Research. It's nothing more than that.
Are you good? Are you good?
It's just a hobby.
And yet the Holy Spirit tells me otherwise.
No! I'm just a doctor.
Ooh, there we go. That was a little burst. Temper.
The echo really helped.
That was great.
That room, it just had, what an atmosphere.
It really was, wasn't it? It was quite a dingy space. was
Spent the whole day in there.
We really did. Yeah. So I also love someone just said, Suzanne said, gonna be hard to see someone else as Luke now. He's perfect as Luke. Which I agree. You are perfect as Luke. Look at that. They loved you, Josh.
Thank you. Thank you, Suzanne.
I guess last question, Josh, for me is,
Yes.
This kind of do you find do you find as an actor you have to find some similarity with the person that you're playing? Obviously, in this, it's somebody who is, you know, kind of being called to be something further than he thinks he is. Is that something that you try to identify with, or do you just kind of get into the role and try and do imagined circumstance?
I mean, obviously, the magic if, as you've described it, that's a really handy tool. I think it's less about finding, well, it depends how you define connection. I mean, as you know, I'm currently right in the middle of studying the craft at the moment, which I feel very lucky about. Yeah, one of the things that one of my teachers told me recently, it sort of lends to itself when you're playing perhaps someone that's slightly more unsavory, is that you always have to find a point of empathy and sympathy for that character and why that character thinks the way they do and why they are the way that they are, even if it's not something that you share within your ethos or your ethical or your ideological framework. So they can be wholly different to you, but it's just that it's what we all have, that human empathy, of really the underlying humanity behind why people do what they do and the decisions they make. So, I mean, with Luke, yeah, there were a lot of things that I did personally empathize with, in terms of the constantly feeling like you're a student, like there's more to learn, like you're not sure who you are. But beyond that, all it was seeing a human being in a situation and finding the humanity.
Yeah, great. I think, yeah, that's very true. I mean, I remember in my time as an actor having to play, you know, the villain, as it were, and, you know, I just had to be able to argue the case that he's right, and that was it. Like, no, the guy's right. And it was like, he's clearly not. I was like, yeah, that doesn't matter to me. I got to believe he's right.
That's it.
Josh, it was absolutely wonderful working with you. I can't wait to come out of drama school so I can work with you some more. That would be great. Right now, you're a busy, busy man, and I won't take up any of your more time because I know you've got lots to do and lots to prepare for. So thank you so much, Josh. And what we'll end with is a short video where we get to meet Luke. Thanks, Josh.
Exciting. Thank you so much, Paul.
Luke in this story is the storyteller in a way, but he's very much out of his depth as well.
Luke journeys to the capital. Backstory, he journeys with Paul, but, you know, bad news is Paul gets arrested and taken to an unknown location, which just plants Luke in the city all alone. He doesn't know what to do.
Definitely a little bit green-eyed and bushy-tailed, but Luke is still in transition from understanding where he's going to be going as opposed to where he's coming from.
He's a student. You know, the more I've gone through this project, the more people I've met, the more characters that Luke's had to interact with. The one continuous thing is that he's constantly learning.
And this film follows him over the course of a few days as he meets up with some of the original disciples and gets to hear and encounter Jesus as a storyteller, which kind of sets him on his journey. It is an epic, it is different, but I'm sure it's something you're gonna love. And there we have it. Thanks again, Josh, for joining us. And the first time on at least our proper big live streams. I know he was on Instagram, but it was really great. And yeah, again, wishing him all the best, praying for him during his further education in the craft of acting. He's fabulous. Loved it. And I love that how people have been encouraging him on the comments, and how people say how brilliant he is, because he truly, truly is. Guys, if you don't know, we're here. We're doing our big live stream. We're meeting lots of team, lots of crew, lots of cast. Our next guest is someone very special to me personally and professionally, so I'm very excited. But also, it is our last, I'm going to say it's probably now nearer to 12 hours left
of our investment round. So we are open for another 12 hours to invest. So if you haven't already and you are wanting to invest, head over to angel.com/testament. There we have it. We have only 12 hours left for this round. Thank you so much to everyone who already has. As I said, it's incredible to think that we did our first short film with a bake sale and some spoken word poetry, and now people are actually buying in. They're actually, investing into what we're doing. So thank you so much. This investment round is going to be go towards the production budget for season 1 of Testament, the series, which is a multi-season show. But season 1 is going to begin from the day of Pentecost, and it's going to move through to a certain point. I won't spoil that, but the whole series will go to the end of the book of Acts, which is exciting. So if you haven't already, do so if you would like to. But we have more of those day videos, which I've neglected to show. So here is what we filmed on day 2, and these were the rushes that I edited together to show all the cast and crew. And what's really lovely about this is you've got people excited as they go on. Obviously some temp music, not the real music, but here's day 2. Let's show that. And that was little clips of what we filmed on day 3. It's fun when you watch these. It's like, some shots we didn't use, some shots we did. But that was our day 2. Day 2 of filming, which was good fun. But listen, I'm behind. So also, this is what we did on day 3. Day 3 was our first warehouse day, and day 3 was really fun. I loved being in the warehouse. It was great fun. So here's day 3 of our rushes. Day 3 was a fun day, and it was, again, when you show these kind of little clips to people, to your cast, to your crew, it spurs them on. It gets them to know what kind of production they're doing, how it's looking. Because I get it, especially when you're doing something low budget and you're asking people to come along, and we made our film for very little money, so we weren't paying people a lot, which we'd like to change for the series. People wonder what the quality is going to be like. So being able to show these is a really great moment. I'm just making sure that my next guest is coming on. So he's getting ready. He's soon ready. I just hear he's logged on and he's soon here. But in the meantime, if you are wanting to invest, if you want to join the Testament family and help us create season 1 of the series, you can do so by heading over to angel.com/testament. And that's it. So we have our guest. We're going to try and bring him on, and he can't hear anyone. He says, "Oh, he's in the waiting room at the minute, but he can't hear anything. But I'll talk to you about him." So I grew up in a few different countries, and when I came to England, I actually moved to the Midlands, it's called, and that's where I started my secondary school, which was, I think it's high school or middle school, I'm not sure, high school. And I would get on the bus to go to school, and I ended up sitting next to this guy all the way to school, all the way back, every single day. Every day we went to school. And turns out he was a massive music fan, but particularly film music, film scores. And I was a massive acting fan, and also one day wanted to make films, and actually started making films on little rubbish cameras. I mean, really rubbish, worse than phones. And we just started working together. He started putting the music to the stuff that I was making, and it just developed into this really wonderful collaboration. He is a real talent to behold. He's an incredible, incredible musician. I remember when I was learning piano, he was also playing piano, and he was miles and miles ahead of me. It's just like, yeah, can't compete, but that's okay. Luckily enough, he's working in other things. He's done a lot of big video games and stuff like that, but he agreed to do our film, Testament. And so he is the one responsible for all the wonderful music that you hear in the movie. He scored all of the Parable films, he scored all of Testament, and he will be scoring as far as we're in agreement, he is scoring as well the series, which I am super excited for because he is incredible. And I'm just going to check. Is he ready to come on? Oh, he's not ready to come on. Okay. What we'll do instead is we will... What is it? Okay, we're going to play one of his favorite moments before, just as they try and get the tech issue sorted. They're going to play one of his favorite moments, and we can talk a little bit about that and a little bit why it is and how we got to that point. So here is one of Ed Watkins' favorite moments. Okay, we should have Ed in a minute or two. They're almost finished. But with that sequence, part of Ed and I conversation was the style and the tone of music that was going to be used. We'll play later a little bit from the opening of the movie as well, because I wanted to mix, ancient with modern and really kind of let that bleed into, because that's what we're doing with the story. That's what we're doing with the film. That's what we did with the film. That's what we're doing with the series. So that was a big aspect of it. But what Ed really wanted to get is this: what instruments are we using? What is the tonal choices for the instruments? What are we going to be using? And so when we talked about the world being analog, there's nothing digital in the world, because I think mobile phones would ruin this story. They would just completely ruin it. So we decided on an analog world, and he thought, great, well, let's really push into this analog kind of sound, and that's where this drone came from. So I think Ed is ready. So let's introduce the man himself, Ed Watkins. Here he
Guys,
is.
hello. I'm so sorry I've kept you all waiting, and we're on B camera. My apologies, but hopefully it's all, you can hear me. We're all clear enough.
Hear you. It's all good. We're good, and great to have you here, Ed. This is the camera that I get to see when we do our Zoom chats.
Yeah, sorry everybody. My apologies. I did have a much better thing lined up, but here we go. This is live, and
this is the real you.
This is Lego. This is Lego me. Hello, everybody.
Lego you. So Ed, welcome to the live stream. Really great to have you on. The maestro, the composer, the wonderful musician that you are. I don't know how much you heard of what we were talking about, but I played that little section where Luke hides in the cupboard, and that is the first Temple Guard theme that we have. And I've talked about the analog choice. So how did you come to this kind of drone kind of sound for the Temple Guard?
Well, I suppose mainly after conversations between ourselves, we knew that we couldn't, because we're fond of retreading sort of old ground, I guess, in the past anyway, and we definitely needed it to sound contemporary. That's. I was thinking then, like, trying to come up with a longer answer, but realistically, this thing needed to sound contemporary, and that sort of after our conversations, a few back and forths, a few ideas, it kind of, you knew when you heard it that it was right. And it's funny that, like, if we were to play, I kind of wish we had these up, but like if we were to play sort of through some examples of things that maybe weren't quite right, or at least were similar, like you get a
we'll pen that for a later live stream. That's a great idea.
Oh gosh, okay, yeah, fair enough. All the dirty laundry. Yeah. No. That's it is interesting. I mean, that goes for all cues and all music that happens. Obviously, what people hear, the final cut, the final mixes, blah blah blah. The amount of versioning that goes into those sort of things. I mean, they can vary so dramatically from like the first time. I sit down and try something out and send it to you, and you sort of, you have your feedback.
I mean, we talked about this kind of temple, because obviously the Temple Guard's always approaching and this sort of stuff, and we almost did like, what is the contemporary version of Jaws? Instead of it wouldn't work at all. But it was like, what is the kind of like the dirty, grungy version of that kind of fits into this world? So you came up with this, because usually I think like some of our temp tracks, they went down. They were like, bow. They went down.
So,
and you had this like weird idea to like raise it up almost an octave, which kind of created this really bizarre effect, which is wonderful.
Yeah, you're right. Obviously, the temp does the little half step down, so we go down, and that's been popularized. I suppose Handmaid's Tale fairly recently seemed to, people would know the kind of effect, and it. I think the important thing to sort of realize is it's kind of, sometimes these things embed themselves into the contemporary techniques, and they become a good way of communicating something without really getting in the way. So yeah, it was important that we do our own. Well, we try our best to have our own edge to it. And yeah, you're right. So it's the same. It's technically the same sort of pitches. We just go a long way up instead of a little bit down.
Yeah.
And
I remember when you first said that to me, I thought like you said it, and I was like, "There's no way that will work." You know, like no way.
Yeah.
And then
you
play it, and it's like actually it's great.
Yeah, well, I know it doesn't. No, I'm glad we arrived at it, and it's another interesting thing I think about those kind of scoring moments. Are definitely because obviously so much. Again, keeping it contemporary, so much modern cinema. The line between music and sound design is slowly getting a lot more intermingled. That's just a way of, that's just the sort of the natural course for things where musicians are looking for perhaps they just want new sounds because certain sounds are not feeling quite as sharp or fresh to them, and that's always a good way to find those sounds. And I suppose on the flip side, I mean, I'm not a sound designer, but I wonder if in sound design, in editors who would want, because obviously the art involved in those two professions, in terms of like making something quite, what of a better word, artful, to make their sound design a sort of part of the art rather than purely utility. And obviously editors,
I mean,
editors,
everything is a choice, isn't it? It's not you just don't, like, if you're going to put a train track in, it's not what, just tugga 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 tugga. It's what kind of sound, what will it do, how should it make us feel? Like the chase sequence that you did the music for, I know Matt, our sound designer, did some great things with that, the train to kind of bleed into that music, which worked really well. But you have a favourite track, don't you? Which that you've chosen. Do you want to play it first, or do you want to introduce it?
I'll introduce it.
Cool.
It's if as long as we've got ourselves lined up. It's the final cue. It's the Our Next Will Be a Story, the second part. I won't say any more now. I'll just, if you've got it lined up ready to go, then here it is.
Major spoilers if you haven't seen the ending of the film. Here it is.
Many have undertaken to draw up an account of the things that have been fulfilled among us, just as they were handed down to us by those who, from the first, were eyewitnesses and servants of the word. With this in mind, since I myself have carefully investigated everything from the beginning, I too decided to write an orderly account for you, most excellent Theophilus, so that you may know the certainty of the things you have been taught. This is the account of Jesus the Christ. This is his story. This is his testament.
There we have it, Ed. Favorite moment. And I mean, I'll ask Ryan as well, who's on our tech, to also just find a freeze frame as well of the little cameo that I had in the film, and we can throw that up as well, because this is the one moment that I decided to be like, "Hi, I'm in this movie." I think I'm in like a lot of the parables in the background, but there's when there he is. Look at that temple guard takes his hat
those
off.
locks.
It's me with my long lockdown hair.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, there we have it. Brilliant. Not like that anymore. So, Ed, that piece of music, which I have to say is my favourite as well. What is masterful music, Ed? We have someone say, which is great.
Thank
That's
you.
from Laurie.
Laurie, thank you. Sorry, the name's all pixelated to me, but Laurie, thank you. That's very kind. Bless you.
So, Ed, talk us through that bit of music. Why is that your favourite?
Okay, it's my. It was first of all, it was actually a hard thing to sort of land on, settle on, just because the film itself is quite well unique in the way music's kind of treated for a lot of it. But I think, Paul, the more I considered it, it was like it felt a bit like, it reminded me when we were, 15, 16, and we wanted to make films, but our idea of making a film was so grandiose and huge, and the scale, because all the films that we grew up with and were part of our formative years had scale, at least the ones we enjoyed and we shared, and it was when I watched.
I think I remember. I think the first time I watched Indiana Jones was with you.
Yeah, it could well have been. Yeah. So when we got to this moment in the film, when we talked about this final moment, the sense of scale just took me straight back to like us, and just felt like, hey, can we really go this massive here? And we could, and it was interesting because you look at a film that deals in the genre that primarily the film works in. I suppose I don't know the best way to sort of. I hate pigeonholing, especially for your own film.
We had a whole live stream the other day about is Christian a genre, and we came up to the conclusion that it's not. But it's an audience.
Can you have this Christian dystopia? I don't think that's quite the way of. But the science fiction element, the darkness, the sort of the down to earth, the real earthiness of everything, and so you at first glance or listen or whatever you want to call it, you think about it and you go, well, is this going to work? Is it going to be really jarring? Because you picture a film that perhaps has a similar tone in modern media, and then you erupt into this huge this choir, this chorus, and you think, okay, maybe it's not going to work. But what made it work, I think, was the underlying the point. If you come to it, the point of it, the message and the point meant we have permission to go this large and really shout it, if you like it's a real triumphant moment. So being able to do that, I suddenly sort of I got really excited, and like I say, it felt like the films that we talked about when we were younger, and it was so in that sense, that's what makes it my sort of favorite musical moment for that film. Now that's not to say
I think some context for everyone else when we talk about the films that we tried to do when we were 16 and 17. Most people, they pick up like a little, I mean, I'm talking a terrible camera. They try and film, like a little drama, a household thing. There's an award-winning film about answering a phone call or leaving a voicemail. No. We decided that we were going to create an epic adventure film called Craig Hunter and the Skull of the Giant, which is an Indiana Jones ripoff. Taking some swords and just sword fighting in a disused quarry. It was terrible. It will not see the light of day. But actually, the score was very good. You did very well on that, Ed.
Bless you. Yeah, no, I had so much fun, and I know we laugh about it, and we would never dream of like showing anybody, or at least I would perhaps avoid my performances in that film. But the point I think that kind of comes out of all that is that doing, especially the ending parts of this film in particular, it felt like I was that age again, and felt like, oh yeah, it doesn't even matter, we just do it, and we were able to do it, and it came off, and I was just really happy with how that ended up. But like I say, that's a favourite moment of mine. But that's not to say that there are not other moments in this film that stood out to me as being enjoyable to score, because it was it was really.
But finally,
sort of
I think
unique.
with that last piece, the music made it come alive even more. Great work. Thank you so much. That's very true, Ed.
Thank
it's so
you.
True.
Thank you very much.
Music adds just another layer. But it was interesting. We early on tried to get this last cue, this last piece of music, done earlier, done first, because we knew that this was going to feed the rest of the film. And actually, as soon as you came up with this theme of the da 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 da, which was like, as soon as I heard that, I was like, that's the theme. And then I remember you like interweaving variations of that, never actually quite getting to it, but variations of that throughout the entire film. You're almost like da 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 ba. You never get there.
Yeah.
I thought that was a wonderful kind of it builds an audience expectation of kind of like, so when we hear it at the end with a big choir, we're like, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was important that you don't fully realize it throughout the film. I think for narrative purposes, and also to have that big sort of final, here we go, this is definitely the one. But yeah, just to really sort of make sure that the complete version, the complete package, the complete message that this music's trying to help convey in that moment comes together in that moment, and that moment alone, really. I think that was because you can obviously traditionally or not traditionally, but you will feature themes throughout a film that are complete and that make sense musically because they represent this or they represent that. But I suppose we're not truly representing something until right at the end, until it's sort of realised in its entirety, perhaps, to then really sort of speak of it. And it obviously, it's always a lot of fun to develop themes throughout a long piece of work, because it's basically Easter eggs. If you're doing it that way, that's just a lot. Unless it's like really sort of in your face and has to be in your face. But yeah, that's just and it helps. Yeah, it's a musical thing. It helps you write and propel and But we went through a few versions of that. That final cue.
But we've come up with something incredible. I'm super happy with it. It's a theme that I just keep on singing now. It's forever in my head. Thank you very much. It's very annoying, but also it's very good. So, Ed, thank you so much for joining us on this section of the live stream. You are a talent. You are awesome. Can't wait to get you on the series. Hopefully, I can clinch you for that. But you are my intended composer, so that'll be good.
Yeah, is that you asking me right? Is that you officially asking me right this moment?
Listen, you're already on the website. I mean, your face is there saying composer, so I've told the world that you're the composer. Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, you are.
Let's do it. I really hope this works out. Honestly, it'd be a pleasure to get back involved in this world for sure.
Well,
I'd love to.
Guys, what we're going to do now is we have a second trailer that we did, and because the first trailer I made before Ed had composed the music, and then the second one I managed to compose alongside Ed's music, plus some reactions of people when they watched the premiere. And then put in your questions in the chat. I'm going to answer as many as I can before introducing the next guest, because this is our big live stream. And don't forget to head over to angel.com/testament to invest. We only have, 12 and a bit, 11 and a bit hours left for our investment round. So do that if you haven't done so already. And thank you to everyone who has. You guys are awesome. Okay, so thank you, Ed. This is your music to the next trailer, for trailer number 2 of the film. Thanks, Ed.
Thanks, everybody.
Our Father, who is in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come. Your will be done.
We don't have much time in the building. I just thought it was important to say that just because of this film, so we've actually distributed now with Angel Studios, who are the same people who do The Chosen. And based off of this idea, we'll now be working with them to make a series, a TV series. I want to say thank you so much. God bless and have a very good night.
Well, I didn't know what to expect, and I am completely blown away.
It's amazing. Oh, I cannot express how I feel, because I'm just coming out of it.
It was very clever in the way that he made it intertwine.
I feel really good after having seen it. It was something that I knew was in production for a long time. So seeing all the little bits come together and then seeing this big movie is just really amazing.
It's beyond actually my expectations. It's actually just how they've managed to just create the story in such a kind of, with five parables and have an adventure thriller throughout. They've done a really good job.
I thought it was phenomenal. I thought it was like, the quality was amazing. I was in tears. That when it got to the hidden like treasure bit, and I was in absolute tears. So yeah, I thought it was one of the best films I've seen. I thought it was amazing. Loved it.
First and foremost, absolutely blew away even my expectations, which were already high to begin with. I think what struck me the most, though, was just how much during some of those stories I was just utterly moved.
So encouraging, and it took the story of the early church like right into today, and you're like, wow, how am I telling the story? How am I living it? I'm really blown away by it, and I'm like, how do we get it in our local church? How do we get others to see it? Absolutely amazing.
There are so many deep challenges, there are so many important things that are going to come and keep coming from this film, and the way that it was told and being retold, it's a film that needs to be out in the world, and the fact that it's now going to be going on to TV series, yes!
It was stunning. I really loved every moment of it.
It's a film that a lot of people will find quite challenging, but also very moving. It was very funny in places as well.
All those stories have been weaved in so intricately into this bigger picture story. It was amazing, and then it's got this really uplifting end, and it's just beautiful.
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really different to what I expected. It wasn't very cheesy. I was scared that it might be a little bit cheesy, but I thought it was really well done.
This is really going to speak into into what we've seen in 2022. Really, I think it's really going to speak to a generation. Hopefully,
Please keep it up, and the gospel shall be spread.
This is something really, really special. This is really, really special.
It really brought to life the sacrifice that so many people made, 2,000 years ago. I think we take it for granted when there's a book that we could just have, but people literally gave their lives to write that message down.
When you see a film and it can kind of reach into your heart and make you start tearing up and make you feel that moment and that emotions, that's something that goes above and beyond just watching whatever's on the screen for entertainment and stuff like that. And I think this film in particular has that power to actually reach into you and to teach you something that you didn't know, which is very much like the Bible.
It was nice to see the role of women in the early church not being downplayed, seeing lots of strong women characters through it. It was really, really nice to see.
It's not what you're going to be expected in so many reasons. I mean, someone said to us they were worried it's going to be cheesy, and I think there's a lot of things with Christian films, especially as a Christian, we kind of flinch because of what's gone before, but it's nothing like that. It's nothing like what you've seen before.
It's in a completely creative, unique way, and a story that has been told thousands of times before. It just hits people's heart differently. So yeah, defo, there needs to be another one. 100%, 110%.
Paul's an amazing writer. He's an amazing director. Everyone who was in that film was just no words. It was perfect.
Hey everyone. What I really love about that day really was, first of all, it was the first time we shared the film with anybody, but also just hearing people get the vision, get the mission, get what we're trying to do. We are retelling this story in this modern way to connect people to the early church, to the early followers of Jesus, to the king that they followed, Jesus, but in a way that we can really kind of link it into our own lives right now. You and I, right now, right here, we are Acts 29, we are Acts 30, we're Acts 31, and I know I keep on saying that, but it's so true. We have the mission. We have this great commission that Jesus spoke to go out and to make disciples of all nations. And this series is just a way of casting seeds for the gospel that hopefully people can just lock into. People can just go, oh, I've never thought of even the church like that, let alone Jesus like this. Because we just want to see people get to know Jesus. We want to see people know him. We want to see people just grab onto him, hold him. And yeah, that's the heart of this show. We want to speak to a generation that may find the biblical text tough sometimes, and I get that. I think even as a believer myself in my earlier years, when I wasn't in love with Jesus yet, I found the biblical text difficult. And then suddenly when I have this love, when I have this passion, then suddenly it becomes one of the easiest books to read because it becomes alive. And it is, it's always alive, but it starts working on us. And really this series is to connect people back to the Bible. So if you want to join us in this mission, if you want to help make that happen, you can do so by heading over to angel.com/testament to invest. But also your prayers, pray for us, pray for the mission, pray for what we're trying to do, pray for all our cast and crew that will be coming on. But as well, if you want to get involved financially, you can do so and own a part of the series. You actually get to own a part of what we're making, which is part of how Angel works, which is awesome. So I've got some questions I think we can throw up on the screen. What have we got? Oh, and I'm going to struggle to read these, but will there be any acting roles coming up? There announcements. I'm so sorry. Will there be any announcements? Sorry, I'm struggling to read it, guys. There will not quite yet. We're not quite at that stage yet. As soon as we do know, as soon as we get people signed on, then definitely. There is one actor who is confirmed to be returning, who we have announced and before, but we'll also bring him back onto the live stream at the end of this live stream, so you can say hello. But yes, there's one actor so far, but no, the other actor announcements, they will be coming up, but not quite yet. Part of this investment round will go into the production budget, and some of that is hiring a casting director and starting that process of finding actors. So that's coming up. That's all coming up, and it's very exciting. I can't wait to audition people and to get people in those roles. It's very exciting. Do we have any other questions? Okay, once you are, Ryan, can you read this for me, please? Very sorry, guys. Once you're fully funded and able to start filming, when do you anticipate season 1 being released? Okay, so that it depends on when we're fully funded, and I know that's the question, isn't it? So there's two options. We'll either fund to a certain point and start on the first half of season 1 and then come back and do the second half, or we'll raise the full amount and do all 8 episodes of season 1. If we had it all now, if we were completely had our budget right now, ready to go, I'd love to film this summer in the UK, and then that would kind of hopefully be ready for a winter release in 2024. Whether that happens, it all depends on how our investments go, and also how other sources of production revenue go. Revenue towards production, sorry. But if you are interested, you can invest over at angel.com/testament and help us get into production as quickly as possible. And if you want to know what all this is about, you can actually watch the whole film. The whole film is available right now. The original film that we're basing the whole idea on. It's a little unusual, but I explained that at the beginning of the film. So you can watch that on the Angel Studios app. It is available. It is free. It is there. So head over and check out Testament. The film is called Testament, the Parables Retold. Not just Testament, the Parables Retold. Okay, so I'm going to introduce our next guest, who has been on our live streams before, but some of you may be new and some of you may not have met her. She is incredible. She was the production designer of our movie. Unfortunately, she's not going to be able to be the production designer of our series because she is about to be studying to be on a very, very high-end producing course. So it's very excited for her. But please show your encouragement, show your support to Toya Sifua. Hey,
hello.
Toy.
Hi. Can you hear me okay?
Are you well? I can hear you, yes.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well. This is our big live stream. You are our 4th guest for us tonight for the US this afternoon. So welcome.
It's a pleasure.
Welcome.
Happy belated birthday, by the way.
Thank you very much. Yes, thank you. Yeah, yesterday was my birthday. Yes. And I can feel it already. So, Toysi, you were our production designer on not only the movie but also on every single one of the Parable short films as well. Started off by we started off on the pilot of the Parables, and you just said you could do some makeup, which was great. But then you got to go even more and got to do even better stuff as a production designer. I know this isn't really where you intended to go initially. So what kind of brought you in? Why did you decide to help out and work as a production designer on Testament?
I think it is the fact that I had been involved since like the pilot, and I really loved the project, the heart of Raw Light, the purpose and the intention of Raw Light. And I just thought that like any way that I could be involved, I would love to be. And I suppose having already had the experience of production design when they were just like individual shorts, I was like, yeah, let's do a feature. Why not? How much?
Why not?
How much harder can it be?
Yeah.
And strangely, even though it was a feature, I think because not like that the budget was like astronomical, but having a bigger budget, having like a costume designer assistant, like I think having a team of people, it made it feel like achievable. And like, you know, the proof is in the pudding because the film is out, you know, and the series is coming. So yeah, I love Raw Light, you know, and just wanted to be a part of it, I guess. Yeah.
For those who don't know,
I was
by
like
the way,
a creative
Raw Light
kid,
is
like,
our
growing up.
Yes, yeah. Those of you who don't know, Raw Light is the name of our production company that produced Testament. It's over here in the UK. Just in case anyone's like, "What's Raw Light?" That is our company that made the film. Now I mean, you said the budgets weren't astronomical, which is true. I mean, it was very, very little. But you were working on like, I want to say it was like £100, which is about $120 per short film on the parables. And I think we upped it to like £1,000, which is again $1,200 for the feature. Is that right?
Yeah, which felt like so much money. Like,
did right? It's not.
It really felt like.
Newsflash.
I felt like I had to be really careful. Was tracking the pennies, you know.
Well,
had
you came under budget.
I know, which I'm really proud of because we used eBay like a lot.
Yeah.
And buying things that were used, which is a good way of keeping under budget, or just returning things when you're done with them. Which is
shush, Toysti, don't tell everyone that.
Yeah, that was.
It's the scrappy life. It's the scrappy life.
Yeah.
Now, Toy, you have selected a favourite moment, and yours is. Did I write yours? Yes, I did. That's good. Do you want to explain what your favourite moment is?
Okay, so it's probably a strange one, and it is a favourite moment of many. So it's not like, oh, there are so many other great moments. Why did she pick them? But it's basically it's a moment in the guard room, and we see the guards, and they're in their full get up, the helmets, the body gear, the goggles, their weapons, and there's this red light in the scene, and I feel like it's really, I think it shows, like, it captures the danger, like the dystopian nature of the world that is created, and I feel like it's a really great like marker of like where our world is kind of situated, and I just love like that location. So the whole time that we spent at that location, I think was great. But I think that moment in particular, or that scene, just stands out to me when we were in that club.
So we will. Yeah, the warehouse was a club that was out of action, which is great for us.
Mm-hmm.
So here is actually the opening of the film. We'll probably, I'm not sure where we'll play it from, but somewhere near the start, and that kind of has those little moments that Toysi is talking about. So let's roll video.
Our Father, who is in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come. Your will be done.
Your good health.
On earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation. And deliver us from evil.
There we have it. And this is the moment, right, Toy?
That's the one. And the fact that it's like sliced with the Lord's Prayer, I just think powerful. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's what we had. I mean, the part of it is the music at the beginning. Was the conversation was is to start in this kind of ancient Middle East type music, which then transitions into the modern day throughout that song, which I think he did very well. But also, yeah, we have it's actually one of our little Easter eggs is we have the Lord of the Lord of the Rings. Wow, not the Lord of the Rings. We have the Lord's Prayer. What is the Lord of the Rings prayer? The Lord's Prayer. We have it 3 times in the movie. We have it at the beginning, somewhere in the middle, and very near the end, as like the Shema, the prayer, the Jewish prayer that is said 3 times a day. So it's a little Easter egg. No one's ever asked about who the first voice is, though. Which
I was thinking that as I was hearing it, I was like,
no one's ever asked it.
And is it Hugh?
I'm not. No, it's not Hugh. Hugh is one of our biblical scholars who advises on this. Yeah. I can see how you thought it, but no, it's not. It's not Hugh. That tickled me. Toy, what is sorry. Okay, so that is one of your favourite moments. Toy, what are you looking forward to? I know you won't be with us on the series, at least to begin with. Hopefully later you can join in. But what are you most looking forward to the series?
I think it's really just like more of the world expanded. Because it's really just like a small peep, and it's through the experience of like very few. But I think seeing that world expanded, seeing how we understand how like this threat kind of exists and how it impacts the early church. I think the world building is going to be really, really cool. So I suppose I'm thinking from like a kind of like a visual or production designer like point of view, but I think that's such a big thing to do, and is a character almost in and of itself when you're talking about a production. So I'll be really I'm gutted to not be involved, because I think it's gonna be so cool, and unique. Like the fact that it's set in a time that's perhaps resembles today than it did back then, makes it such a rarity. So seeing how you guys do that is going to be really cool. Yeah.
You can join us for season 2 or season 3, and then you can get into the action. It's going to be good then as well.
I'll keep you to that.
No, don't worry. I'll say it publicly. Stream. I'm gutted that you're not working with us. Hey, everyone, keep me to it. If I haven't offered Toy Sifua a job to work on Testament, then yeah, hold me to it. Toysi, it's been really great having you. Thank you. And I thought the video that we should play after our conversation really kind of begins on when you got offended at Angel calling us scrappy.
I remember.
Yeah. So guys, if you haven't already and you want to invest, you want to see this mission of us making this TV series, The Book of Acts, bringing it to an audience that will connect to it and then pick up their Bibles, head over to angel.com/testament and you can invest. We've only got like 12 hours left, maybe 11 hours now. I don't know what it is, but we haven't got much time. So if you are planning on investing, do so in the next 12 hours. But thank you, Toysi. And here is why we're called Scrappy.
So Angel likes to call the team here over at Raw Light in the UK, they use the word scrappy for our filmmaking style. They do.
Scrappy.
We're scrappy.
Is it? Why scrappy?
Why scrappy? Because they heard the budget of what we made the film for, and they were like, "No way did you make the film for that
Why not
much money."
creative instead of scrappy?
You see, that's what I'd go for, Troy, but they preferred scrappy. So, and I'm not letting them live it down. So I'm just going to keep on just reminding.
I will never forget.
Yeah,
Call
Angel got called to scrappy. I think it's a positive.
It's one thing to dream dreams. It's another thing to bring it to reality. Tell us a little bit about the journey that you went through.
You know, I think when Jesus talks about being faithful in a little, I think that's really key.
This is my first camera that I shot a movie on with my best friend.
I think a lot of us, when we dream our dreams and when we say this is what we want to achieve, we immediately think of the end, and we immediately think what that's going to look like and what the big stuff's going to look like. But I mean, I've said it before here as well, that now we have incredible cameras in our pockets. Our phones are, and I know everyone says that, and I know it's getting old and very cheesy, but it's just true. And I think what we can start doing is honing our craft and honing what we do and our talents and growing that and nurturing that with what we have. Let's be faithful in the things that we are given.
Yeah, Paul just kind of asked, and I just thought there felt something very safe about doing it with a friend and the community of it all. And wherever there was a call, I answered.
I saw a posting when I read that it was parables being retold in a modern day setting. That kind of caught my imagination, caught my attention.
First time we did the first film, which was The Sower, we just put out a call. We didn't really have any money, and we were like, does anybody fancy doing something like this?
It's been incredible, to have people that are better at you at doing the things that they are experts in has just been amazing.
Because he's so willing to let us try things. He's got this wonderfully warm way about him, this kind of playful energy that just says, let's give it a go. Let's see what happens.
He brings a certain energy to the project. He's very clear and very, very clear about what he wants. But he still allows you to have that creativity, and that's special.
Testament is probably one of the most interesting projects I've been involved in because it has gradually developed from being initially one short film and then a series of short films, all retelling parables, and then turning into a feature film.
And I won't jump into how much the production budget was for that film, but it was incredible that you were able to pull out such an incredible production value. And it just shows your talent as a filmmaker, but it just got me excited to go, man, what could this guy do if we gave him a proper budget?
Is there another film in the pipeline? Are you beginning to work on something else?
There is some big stuff coming up, which we're really excited for, series actually.
I remember you kept on about, we need to do the council spin-off, we need a spin-off from this, we need a spin-off of that. And then Jordan's sitting across from me on Zoom and says, have you thought about making this a series?
If the crowd comes in and wants to invest in this series, the possibilities feel endless as to the incredible stories that you can tell and the way you can bring the Bible to life in the book of Acts. Hey, welcome back. That is why we're called Scrappy, and our guide to being scrappy, which is really just making the most use of what you have. So whatever we have, we will make it look like 10 times more. And if you'd like to help us do that, head over to angel.com/testament and you can invest in the series. We've only got 12 hours left. That's how long we're open for. And if you haven't as well, we're still going with this. 11 hours left. Oh, it's going down now. If you haven't already, and this live stream is still going on for quite some time, so why don't share it, send it to somebody, send it to a friend that you think might like it, who doesn't know about Testament, who might want to know more about Testament, because we've got still 2 more guests who are going to chat to us a little bit. We've got some more videos, we've got some great content, and just introduce them to the Testament family. Copy this, send it over to them, and they can join in this live stream. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on the Angel app, I think. Maybe we're not. I can't remember. But we are on YouTube and we're on Facebook. So we're there. Yeah, head over and do that. Now, we've been showing rushes. And if anyone doesn't know what rushes are, it's after every day of filming, I would go off and I would edit like a little clip of what we'd filmed that day, and then the next day I would show it to everyone to, again, just encourage them, just to support them, just to make sure, hey, look what we're filming, isn't it cool? And they'd be like, yes, and then they would want to do even better that day. So it's a really energizing thing to do on a set. I remember as an actor, a director did that to me, and I was like, oh, I really want to do this on all my sets. So I'm going to show you day 4, I think we're on, out of 10. We did 10 days of filming for the Testament section. So here is day 4 of our rushes. Yeah, day 4 was a good day. It was a long day. We finished up on that roof doing that rooftop scene. If you've seen the film, you know the one with James, the Just, and Luke in their conversation. That was a really fun day. As well, we have there was a little cameo of actually our next guest. But before then, I'm actually going to show you, we've got 10 days to show, and I'm only on day 4. So here is day 5's rushes of what we filmed in day 5. It was a shorter day, this one, but it was quite intense. This is the end of our first week. And here is the rushes for day 5. And there we are. That was day 5. That was the end of our first week of filming. And Kim just invested, what is it, $200? Thank you so much, Kim. That's $200. Thank you very much, Kim. That's amazing. So kind. Thank you. And as well, I like Lynn's comment here, scrappy should be the theme word. I'm pretty sure that's what the disciples were too. I couldn't agree more, right? Even the Sanhedrin talk about these guys. They're like, who are these unlearned men who are speaking with such boldness and such knowledge? They didn't expect that kind of wisdom and authority to come from these people, these scrappy people that just made do with what they had, but of course empowered by the Holy Spirit, which is the key, isn't it? And yeah, that's what we want to do as we're making our series as well. So our next guest is somebody who made a lot of this possible, really all of it. He is someone that I got to know on my first short film of the Sower, and he just got in touch I put out an ad, and he's like, yeah, I'm interested in doing this. I was like, it doesn't pay. And he's like, yep, I'm interested in doing this. I was like, okay. And since then, I can't imagine working with anyone more, because he is incredible. We've seen him before on our live streams, but if you haven't, please show your encouragement, show your support to the one and the only Andy Tuvey. Hey, Andy.
Hey, Paul. I thought you were talking about someone else then. And I'm doing okay. Thank you for that incredibly generous introduction.
No, not at all. And actually, I'll add on to this. Andy is as well, and something I think you learned in lockdown, a very skilled animator as well. Did you learn that in lockdown?
Yeah. I kind of used my lockdown to sort of learn Blender, which is like 3D, and then the whole like artificial intelligence images and all that kind of thing started taking off. So I've been using a combo of the two. Yeah,
Andy did some incredible the CGI moments that are in the movie, but also did this beautiful spoken word by a guy called Dai, and did all the animations of this, and said the whole Bible story in, is it 4.5 minutes?
Yeah, pretty much. I think it's on YouTube as The Bible in 4 minutes. So
The Bible in 4 minutes. It's beautiful, and Andy did the animation. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about your wonderful work holding actual cameras.
Yes.
So Andy, you were our DOP
in the background, but that's what it all is. Cameras.
I'm not going to lie, Andy. I was expecting worse. So this is great. I have the excuse of this is a hotel, so this is not what's normal.
That's good.
And so you started with us on the SOA. You did that all by yourself, and then we were like, "How can we help you?" Like, please get me an assistant. I was like, "Great." And since then, you've been shooting all of them, which is amazing. And I know what people say so much is they can't believe the cinematography on this. I think you've just actually been nominated for a cinematography award in one of the film festivals for this film, and rightly so.
Oh, cool. Nice. That's good to hear.
I should let you know these things. Sorry, I haven't done so yet. Doing it now in front of everyone. But
which
you
have was that for them?
No, that was for Testament.
Oh, Testament. Have you put it into festivals then?
Yeah, put it into just a few, a couple here and there. But I thought may as well share around. Not them. But you shared one of your favourite moments with us, Andy, which I know you shared two. But the thing is, the next guest, I'm pretty sure, is going to share the one that you normally go to as well. So we're going to go with your ulterior favourite moment, which actually was a little bit shown in our Day 5 rushes. So, Andy, do you want to introduce it, and then we can talk a little bit about why it is your favourite moment?
My favourite moment was filming down in what in the film appears to be these underground sewers that they're travelling through in the dark, in the tunnels, just with these handheld lanterns. But yeah, the reality of the location was quite different.
Great. So okay, let's play Andy, one of Andy's favourite moments from the movie. Here it is.
So this is how you managed to avoid being seen?
Old sewer system. Runs under the entire city.
There aren't many that know about them.
And those that do either don't know their way around or are far too self-respecting to wade through whatever it is you imagine you just waded through.
Didn't want to think about that. Do you mind if I ask? The Zealots, what is it they want?
Well, they'd say freedom, but
They want their nation's independence back, whatever the cost.
assassinations, riots, you name it.
So why do you go to their meetings?
Well, someone has to reach them.
And they listen to what you have to say?
They listen to Simon.
How come?
I used to be one back in the day.
A zealot?
Yeah.
You were an extremist when you followed Jesus?
No. No. I was when he called me, but after I followed him, it just wasn't part of me anymore.
I still don't understand why you'd go back to them.
To tell them about Jesus.
But the things they do, they're relentless, unfeeling.
And so was I till I saw the bigger picture. But if we can get through to them, if they can know him like I know him, then not only will a lot of other lives be saved, but theirs will be too.
So you think everyone will change?
I think anyone can.
None of us are the same since following the way. And through him, we do the impossible. We love those different to us as we love ourselves. We see those whose ideals and notions are a world away, and we love them as if we were their neighbor.
A neighbor? What does that mean?
It means sometimes it hurts to love the way Jesus asks us to.
I don't understand.
Susanna, do me a favor. Tell him that story that Jesus told the lawyer.
What now?
Yeah. It might distract us from the smell.
Shall I record this? I'm going to record this.
There was once a man on a certain journey.
Leading us perfectly into the parable of the Good Samaritan. Andy, let us know, why was that one of your favourite moments?
I think part of it was I love like the movie magic of taking something which in reality looked nothing like what you see on screen and then turning it into that. So it looks and it feels like a sewer. A lot of that is the big storm drain. A lot of that's the sound design, which I think they've done a great job with on that. But in reality, it's theatre. I think part of a. You'll have to give me the full story on the theatre, but it's one part of a theatre that's right underneath one of the big London stations. So
it's an exhibition space. There's somewhere in London called the Waterloo Vaults, and Waterloo is one of the biggest stations in the UK, train stations in London. Some of the most foot traffic happens there, and they have these weird things underneath that have these like what they call vaults, these strange spaces, and they've got multiple. Some of them are theatres, some of them are exhibition spaces, and you can just hire them out to either film or to do an exhibition or to do a play. And so I remember when we first got there, I even said to you, Andy, well, I'm sure we're going to have to leave all the lights on because, it's pitch black in here. There's no way Andy's going to let me film in pitch black. He's going to be like, no, Paul, there's no lights. And you were like, yeah, let's just use the torches.
Yeah, that was great fun. The torches and a little bit of subtle walking along light there as well. But yeah, it's mainly the torches doing all the heavy lifting there, and the wetting the floor down. Being able to wet the floor down was great for that wide, so you see the light as they come to that doorway, just reflected in the water. It just makes it all feel big without actually seeing everything.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I always reference that. I reference it to Ed as well when I'm doing that scene. I called that scene the Mines of Moria scene. You have the big long tunnels as they wonder which way to go, and it's like, yeah, that's for me. That's Mines of Moria. Look at that.
Yeah,
and then you can see the water as well. Yeah, great little scene.
And I love it when they just approach the gate at the beginning of that, the kind of crisscross of the wire and the way it comes from complete black and then the light just comes in. Yeah, again, sometimes turning off the lights gives you the better effect.
And that's what we mean by being, when we say, scrappy filmmaking, it is kind of going, what's there? That gate happened to be there, and we just was like, cool, let's use it, and let's try and make something out of it. Everyone turn away with their torches and then turn into the scene so it looks as if you're coming from somewhere, because that's a dead end. But as you said, that's the movie magic, isn't it? It's about making a location feel alive and feel like it's somewhere else.
And then that combined with, do you remember we had to wait for gaps between the trains? Because the rumble that the trains made was incredible.
It's amazing.
But not good for
Which
filming.
we would have been happy with, but no, James, our sound guy, would not have been happy with that.
There's quite a lot of dialogue in those scenes that happen in the sewers, so we needed to nail those takes, and the actors were great at just bringing it every time.
Yeah, it was a fun day. Actually, that day as well was difficult because the costume didn't arrive for one of the actors. So actually we wasted, I think, 2 hours at the start of that day just waiting. So we got a rehearsal loads, which was nice, but we didn't actually start filming until we had 2 hours left in the location.
That's true, yeah. I remember
don't remember the stress.
We had that kind of pulpit thing sticking up. I don't remember it being that stressful. But I remember there being that weird sort of pulpit prop that we didn't think we could remove, and then I think we managed to remove it in that 2 hours.
Yeah. No, it looked amazing. What would you say? During the testament sequences, what would you say was the most challenging scene or scenes to film?
Probably some of the scenes from the day 4 rushes that you just showed, the ones in the big warehouse. We shot all those during the day, so we were really fortunate to have not a lot of natural light coming into that space, because it would have been a nightmare otherwise. But just being such a big space, figuring out a good way to light that wasn't just, switch all the lights on or switch all the lights off, but using kind of different colors, like the green lights that we were using, and then the kind of orange emergency lights. Just trying to figure out how to make that space work for the story, and also fill it out. Do you remember we did fill it with haze, but we had just one small hazer that was doing a lot of heavy lifting, and I think we were just trying to keep it topped up and keep it spread out. But yeah, it was again definition of scrappy in a good sense.
Yeah. I think Toysi mentioned it when I was talking to her as well. The red light that we have during the Temple Guards section in the Temple Guard room. It sets us in the world. It puts us in that the kind of dystopian era, and just tells us what the kind of tone and the mood is going to be. And you just mentioned there we used green in the what do you call it, the warehouse during the night scenes, and yellow during the warnings. Is there a particular reason when you approach using color in lights and in scenes? Is there a way that you like to approach that?
Definitely thinking, what is the feeling the color gives? I know you were really set on the red anyway for the kind of Temple Guard / Stormtroopers, and that's clearly where some of the kind of visual reference is coming from. But obviously red is, that kind of, that famous color for anger or danger, something ominous. I think green is possibly a more unusual color to pick for the good guys. But I think my thinking on the green, I can't remember how much we discussed this. I may just have gone ahead and given it a go and then asked you to come and have a look. But I think we might have talked about those kind of generator, if you're using a generator to power the building, then nighttime it's going to be running on something slightly different.
Yeah.
And it just feels like green gives the suggestion that it's the downtime. It's, the lights are mainly switched off. There's just a few sort of dim, dingy lights, flickering tube lights kind of lighting the space.
And I think as well the decision for the disciples was to, I mean, in the production design and in the costume design, was to keep them earthy, to root everything down. Like blue is a color that we're like, it takes us, blue for me takes us so much into like modern time. I don't know why. For me, it just kind of evokes that kind of sleek glass type look. And even though we're telling a modern story, it's to try and kind of like root that all back in. So even using the green and the yellows is for me quite an earthy type color, which just lends itself, I think.
I still can't believe you kept my reluctant cameo in there, and have used it so many times now.
We use it every single live stream. That's the torch. That's used. Andy is in the little torch, the 5-minute thing that we play, in the green scenes. He's in the tent, just sleeping, just little cozily. And I can't remember who filmed you. I think it was Courtney. Courtney, our first a assistant camera. He got to film. He got to film you. So. That was good.
I think that was possibly your hardest bit of directing, right? To actually get me to do something credible. And in the end, it was just Andy, you're just going to have to sleep. I'm going to cut your monologue. There's no Shakespeare on this one, sorry.
You kept on bringing Antony and Cleopatra, and we're like, no, Andy, no. So, Andy, lastly, what are you most looking forward to when it comes to the Testament series?
I am excited about the idea of just taking things a little bit bigger. The warehouse is a good example. Like it was a bigger setting. A lot of the film is quite small out of necessity. I'm looking forward to some of those kind of bigger set pieces. Shooting stuff around the kind of temple and some of those scenes, or the bigger scenes with Peter preaching to the crowd at Pentecost. I think those kind of big setups just go a long way to just kind of really immersing the audience in the world and just making them stop even asking the questions of like, is this real? Am I watching a movie here? They just get into it then. So that's the exciting stuff for me. How about you?
Yeah, absolutely. Me? I think spending more time with these
questions.
Yeah, sure. I think it would be spending more time with the characters. We, as I said, the movie is quite unusual. Luke's the lead. Yet we keep on like jumping away to these different mini stories within the film. So I think in the series, I'm really looking forward to just diving into each person's story and how they develop and how they don't develop, and choices that they make. That's what I'm looking forward to. But keeping the Ed mentioned it when we were talking, the epicness of what we do, because it is an epic story. And I think even if you're a solo person in this story, you're part of an epic story, because it is, you're joining into the greatest story ever told. And I think that's kind of a sense that I'd like to capture. Have I answered enough?
Oh, that's great. Yeah, no, that's super exciting. It's almost like having seen Luke's journey just through Testament. Doing it as a series gives you the opportunity to explore many different equivalents of Luke, which is
I think early on we were like, we've done Luke's story of how he started writing the gospel. Maybe we should do each of the others as well, each of the other three. But now we're doing the series instead, so that's going to be even more fun. I'm really looking forward to that. Andy, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much. What we're going to do now is we're going to show our trailer again, but also with some interviews that I think, Andy, you're on this as well, of how we approach the film, how we approach the movie, and what we were excited to. If, guys, you haven't already and you want to, you can invest over at angel.com patreon.com/testament. We want to bring the book of Acts to life on screen in a way that has never been done before, in a way that will root people into that story and just remind people that we continue this story. We continue the book of Acts. Luke left it, on this cliffhanger without really resolving it on purpose. That was the writer's purpose. That's how the Holy Spirit guided him, because you and I get to pick up that mantle and you and I get to carry on that journey. So head over to angel.com/testament. There's only like 11 hours, 10 hours left to invest. So if you are planning on investing, do so quick, because there's not much time. But here is the trailer. Andy, thank you so much for joining us. And I'll see you soon for our next project.
One. Thank you so much, Paul.
Take care, and here is the trailer.
I don't know what I'm doing here. Came all this way with Paul for him to get himself arrested.
And you are?
Luke.
You a doctor, Luke?
He's also a writer.
Did Jesus like telling stories?
He told loads of stories. He talked like that all the time.
But why?
There was once a sower.
There was one young woman who thought the very same.
Once a man on a seven journey.
Found the treasure of the great maestro and the 3 talented students.
We need to keep the city safe.
James is getting worried.
Understandably.
Luke, come on. We waited for you for 4 days and you never came.
Our nets will be his story.
Testament is unlike anything you've seen before. And I know that sounds cheesy.
Luke in this story is the storyteller in a way.
Dear Theophilus.
In a lot of projects you feel that there's a character that sort of embodies the keyhole for the audience to see through, and I think that Luke can sort of take that position. He's sort of continuous through this journey, meeting and coming across all the different people that he does come across.
Mary is very focused. She's on the go all the time, but there's a natural joy with her. She has purpose and she moves with that in mind.
Have you met James before?
As in Jesus' brother? Yeah, briefly when we first arrived.
James can see that Luke is maybe a little bit lost, and he's trying to figure out what his meaning is and his purpose is in all of this, and James is able to just guide him to where he needs to be.
Did Jesus like telling stories? As a kid, I mean.
Not particularly more than anyone else as far as I can remember.
The person of Jesus, Luke knows as a saviour, as a healer, as a miracle worker. But in this film, it's the first time that Luke encounters or even hears about Jesus as a storyteller, and it baffles him.
Would you like to hear a story that Jesus told us? Yes. Yeah? Okay, you think?
He's a student, I think. You know, the more I've gone through this project, the more people I've met, the more characters that Luke's had to interact with. The one continuous thing is that he's constantly learning and he's constantly listening.
Okay, can I give you some advice? Facts are good. And words, they can impact a moment, but a story, a really good story, that can change a life.
But I think it's something for audiences to take away. What is the importance of story? As individuals, but also as believers, what does story mean to us, and what, more importantly, does it mean in the context of God's plan?
So let's do this. Thank you. Let's go. Hey guys, welcome back. If you don't know, this is the live stream for Testament. If you're joining us now, Testament is a multi-season TV series which is going to reimagine the book of Acts, but set in a world that looks very much like ours today.
We want to reach people with a story that they can just grapple into, that they can see themselves in and say, hey, look at that. I relate with the story of Peter, the story of Saul and Paul, and the story of Mary Magdalene. And I'm continuing the mission of the early church, the mission that Jesus called us to fulfill. So if you are interested in investing, we have got like 10 hours left. I can't really remember, but we're over at angel.com/testament. What's that? 11 hours left. 11 hours left for investment. So it'd be great for you guys to join the Testament family, and please do keep praying for us. I know you guys are already. So we started this live stream, and I told you that whilst filming the movie that the series is based on, the kind of idea, I did rushes, and rushes are after a day of filming, I would edit something down, and it would just be something that I'd present, being like, hey, this is what we did yesterday. No dialogue, no anything like that, just music, really bad color grading, but just an example. So it got people excited, it got people ready. So we've kind of shown we did Testament over 10 days, sorry. We've shown the first 5. So here is our day 6 rush. That was our day 6, all in that little, really quite grimy space that Josh and I talked about earlier. But it was a really great day, and it was the first day that my next guest, who I'm not introducing yet, took up the mantle of being in front of the camera, because the previous week he'd been behind the camera. But he is a real talent, and someone that I can't wait for you guys to again talk to. I mean, he's been on many live streams, so you guys know him. But I'm going to show as well our day 7. And we try to film as much in chronological order as possible. Obviously, you can't do that entirely, especially when you're doing a scrappy, kind of low-budget film. So this is when we really kind of jump to the ending of the film and then jump back because of people's schedules. But here is day 7 of the rushes for Testament. There we have it, day 7 of our rushes for filming Testament, the original film. If you guys want to be in part of it, if you guys want to invest, we have only got a few hours left. So head over to angel.com/testament. But without further ado, I can invite my next guest on, who you've now seen in 2 of the Days of Rushes. It is none other than the one, the only, the fantastic, the brilliant, who is also writing on the TV series. It is Kenneth Amole.
What an
Hey,
introduction, bro. Hey, bro, what an introduction. Thank you. How you feeling?
Now,
How you
Kenneth,
hanging in there?
I'm good. Are you happy? Like, I can see there's a scarf behind you with a football team on. Are you celebrating something?
No, that's the team I support. So I just anytime I need like guidance or confidence, I look to that scarf right there.
Letting everyone know where your allegiances lie.
Yeah, exactly.
Ken, obviously we've spoken about this on live stream before, but we've got people who haven't seen anything yet. So tell us a little bit about your process. Was a little bit different for the film because you spent the first week behind the camera, and the second week in front of the camera. What was that like?
Oh man, it was really incredible, and sometimes I think when you're always in front of the camera, you take for granted how valuable the crew are, and how much they do to kind of make sure that us actors in front of the camera are comfortable and ready to do their best work. So it was just great to be behind the camera and kind of get to know the crew a bit better. We had some of the most phenomenal people in our crew. I mean, you've spoken to a few of them today in terms of Andy, Toy, Eleanor, so it was just amazing to be part of the crew and just to see people's reactions towards me change once I got in front of the camera, because I think they didn't know the first week. So the second week when I got in front of the camera, they was like, oh my gosh, you act as well. So I feel like I got to know the cast and the crew in a completely different way than I normally would, which was amazing.
Yeah, it was really fun to have you in front of the screen finally, because I mean we started, Kenneth and I, doing like spoken words, so we would often just film each other doing some poetry, and filming very badly, but we've kind of gotten used to this one-on-one very 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 quick filming stuff with each other for years now. So suddenly it was great to have actually a full team, a proper production. Even though it was low budget, for us it was like, whoa, what is this? It's more than Paul on a camera and a mic. So that was wonderful to just have you do what you're best at in front of the screen and actually just be able to go for it.
It really was, and like what people don't know is that Paul practiced a lot of his stuff on me. So everyone, gives Paul these compliments about, how amazing his stuff is, which it really is. Just know that a lot of the stuff before that was practiced on me. So I don't want to take any credit for Paul's amazing stuff.
All the mistakes are in Kenneth's show reels.
But honestly,
we have someone writing, Kenneth is an absolute gem. I just saw a comment say there.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah,
that means a lot.
Yeah, sure.
But it's like you said, I think I've been watching the whole live stream, and like you said, it's just amazing to see where we've come, like from doing those little videos, those spoken word videos, and being like, imagine if we could do this and that, and then to come here where over 600 people has already invested, and God willing more. It's such a beautiful thing to experience and be a part of. And also, I always say this to you, Paul, but it genuinely is, I believe, just the beginning. So if you want to jump on the ride and want to be a part of this, please do invest. Go to angel.com/testament and invest right now, and this can be yours as well. So sorry, I'm doing your job for you, but I'm going to stop.
I mean, I'll let everyone into a secret here. So Kenneth is often even when he's not on a live stream, he's often with me as well, just because he's awesome and he's an awesome encouragement and he's an awesome man. But the one thing that I always forget to tell people is to go and invest or go and express interest while doing that. So often he'll just be like knocking on the window being like, tell them to go to. So I'm glad that you're doing
and that's
it
why
now.
I'm here, bro.
That could be your job now.
Yeah, I got you, bro. Don't worry, I got you. I know you. I know this has been a couple of hours, and you've been sitting in that seat doing this for a while. So don't worry, bro. I'm here to help. But you're doing a great job, though. I must say.
Sorry, I don't know what happened there. I lost all audio.
I can hear you.
I can hear you again. I can.
Amazing.
Sorry, I just suddenly, as you were saying, you've been doing this for hours. Suddenly, everything just went dark, and I was "Oh no!"
I was literally just complimenting you, saying you're doing a great job. But I'm glad you didn't hear it. Actually, it was like God was saying, "Actually, let's not."
He doesn't.
You know what I mean? We don't want to take.
Yeah. Don't conflate his ego. Yeah, exactly. Perfect. I was just seeing a few comments saying hello to you, Kenneth. But Roper Kirby says it's a nice scarf, which I know you'll really enjoy that one. As we were talking about the one behind you. Yeah.
I knew we'd have You see, bro, I knew we'd have a lot of viewers that would appreciate this scarf, so I just thought I'd put it right there for them. This isn't just for me; it's for them too.
It's for them too. Well, that's good. So, Ken, you've do you know what? I don't even think I asked you about your favourite moment. It's just that I'm so confident of what your favourite moment is that I didn't bother asking. So we'll see if I'm right, because I've written it in the programme. Kenneth, what was your favourite moment in the film?
So my favourite moment was the bit basically where we find out that, you know, the temple guards are coming, and Barnabas tells us to run, and we go on this this running journey, and then the Spirit kind of talks to Luke, and it's my favourite scene. It's in the trailer. It's an amazing part of the film, and I absolutely loved filming it, and I loved seeing it every time. And me and Luke on that day, it was such a hot day, but we managed to do it so many times, and I'm just so glad with how it turned out. So that is my favourite scene. I think that's probably what you put up. No, maybe.
Of course it is. I knew exactly which scene it was going to be, and it is that one. Yeah, but I think what we'll do, we'll play it later. But I think for now, actually, because I haven't shown day 8 rushes yet, and it was day 8 that we filmed this.
Oh yes.
No, hold on. But I think. Yeah, but for the rushes for day 8, I did the whole thing. I edited the whole chase sequence. Yeah, no. So it doesn't make any sense showing day 8 rushes. We'll show the actual thing instead, because guys, there's not much difference. The rushes went well. So here is what we famously call the chase.
Yes.
But you have to listen.
Run!
By order of Prime Minister Ananias, final warning, open the door! This one! They're making their way over the bridge.
But you have to listen. Listen for his voice. Not in the wind. Not in the quakes, nor the fire. But in a gentle whisper.
Luke! This way, come on!
That way! No! Luke, that's the Water City Centre.
Trust me. Wait!
What?
I don't know. We just need to wait. Follow me.
There we have it.
Oh man, I love watching it. I love it. Honestly, it is such a good watch. It's so good. And yeah,
that's
like,
my favourite
if you
scene.
haven't
Also,
watched-
we see.
Yeah, if you haven't watched the film, please go to the Angel app and watch the film, and you can watch how that run starts and what happens and where it comes from and what happens afterwards. Please watch Testament: The Parables Retold on the Angel app.
Yeah, it's there. It's free. It's available, and it's just waiting. Actually, yesterday we crossed 100,000 views, which was a huge milestone. I mean, did you ever think that we'd have that? That's awesome. Yeah, very blessed.
It's really incredible.
Now, part of scrappy filmmaking, right, is of course you've got different people filling in different roles. So Kenneth was an associate producer on the film. So first week he did, all of that, and then second week he was acting. But also, you have to set a day and just pray that the weather is fine. That's kind of part of the job. You do an outdoor scene, you go, that's the day. We don't have the budget to move things around, so that's the day, whatever it is. And so, I mean, in one way, God really blessed us by keeping the weather and the rain at bay, which was amazing. But also in another sense, Kenneth, why was that day? Why was day 8 particularly difficult?
Because it was extremely hot. They said it was like the hottest day in autumn for like years. And it was one of the hottest days of the year. In August.
So
Sorry. It was the hottest day of summer. So it was the hottest day of the year actually. And it was so hot. There are pictures. I don't know if we've got them, but where like me and Luke are just sitting. The Eleanor's taken beautifully, and we're literally like, we're gone. Like we're finished. Like we're just so tired. And then Paul's like, we got to do it again, and we're like, oh gosh. But it was so hot. But it was a day that we kind of had to really like me and Josh. Sorry, we had to like really just work together. Like he was so amazing, like every day of filming with him, but like that day especially, I think we really bonded, and because we had to put each other through because it was so hot, but also we were doing it together, and I'm just so happy with how it turned out.
Yeah, it was, and the thing is, when we are filming stuff, part of the reason why you have to do takes again and again is one, you always like one for safety, just in case sometime in the moment you didn't see something that went wrong. So it's good to have like 2 good takes. But also like it's as well, if the cameraman does any move that's slightly wrong, if we catch something that shouldn't have been there, if the camera is out of focus for too long, obviously you can't be perfect at all times, but there are these moments that you got to go, right, is this okay? So that's why you have to do things over and over again. And for every fault, no matter who it is in the set, which is part of why I love filmmaking, because it's such a group activity, you got to go again. And so even in this run, it was like, and again, and again, and again.
Exactly. And you know what? I think like the distance of the run for like the different bits, I feel like what we've got doesn't show it justice. Like that was like a cardio session. Like I just got to put that out there. It was such a we ran quite a lot, and also like the shoes that John Mark wears, they're kind of flat soles, so like you really feel them on your feet. But it was like
we were doing that chase sequence for about 6 hours.
Yeah, it was a long time. I know that like my steps were done within the first hour. Like that's how much we did it. Like it was good. It was really good.
It was brilliant. And what's fun as well is talking about people playing different parts and doing different things. What was good about the temple guards is because they're in costume and completely covered, you can kind of put anyone in them. So actually, towards the end of the day,
after the bridge and when they're chasing them up the hill, one of them is me because we had one guy not able to be there anymore. So I was like, right, I'll get in it and I'll just run after you guys. But thankfully, I did not have to do that for long. Yeah, here it is. This one is me right here. I think I'm the one on the left. Not these guys, obviously. These two are you. Here we are. There I am on the left. Really,
that is so.
really
That is
running as
definitely
fast
a
as I
run
can.
as well. That's a little. That's a good exclusive right there, though. I think for the viewers.
Yeah, I haven't revealed that before. No, there's actually a really good photo of me like directing, but in that outfit, which we have not shared.
Yeah, we need to get that out. We need to share that on the socials.
Oh no!
Sure.
Oh no! It's too. It's
so good.
Yeah, maybe we'll see. But another thing that Ken, when we were filming, it was actually in week 1. It was when we were doing the council scene. That's part of our torch. When doing that round the table, which we just really started to, think, oh, this is electric. You have all these actors bouncing off each other. And do you remember what you kept on saying during this moment?
I remember watching that and being, first of all, I remember thinking to myself, we've got something quite special here. That was like, and I don't get me wrong, I thought stuff like that before in the process, before in the pre-production and stuff, but like that just confirmed it for me. It was like that scene and seeing everyone, I was like, no, we've got something really special here. But also, as much as I loved being, behind the camera with the crew and stuff, that was the day that I really was itching to act, because I was just seeing I was so inspired by so many great actors and everyone working together, and the scenes it just looks so good. I was like, get me in front of the camera. I'm ready. Let me come on tomorrow, Paul. I'm ready. Like, I was so gassed. So yeah, I think I kept on saying to you, like, oh bro, I'm so ready to get, I'm so ready. That's what I remember anyway.
There was something else that you kept on saying, though, was after that scene, you were like, bro, we need to do the spin-off. We need to do the council spin-off. A whole spin-off movie or a spin-off series based off of the council and how the council forms and how they make decisions and that ruckus with Paul and
John
everything.
Mark and the council. It's like, and then John Mark can come in that as well. No, I remember I kept on saying, oh bro, you need to start writing the spin-off. You need to start writing the spin-off. Because I just, that day, and just seeing those guys in the council, just what they were doing, Ben, Paulette, Josh, David, like all of them, like I was just like, yeah, this could really be a spin-off. It really just created the world of how the council are, and I just got lost in it. That was like, bro, we could do a spin-off. But I did say that to you a lot of times. Yes, I did. And you were like, go away.
Well, I was kind of like, yeah, sure, but also like, yeah, that would be a cool idea, but that's not going to be possible. You think of how much effort it took to make this one thing. And now, in one way or another, we are. But now, in one way or another, we are doing that spin-off. We are doing, that council will eventually form. That council will eventually be there, the Council of Jerusalem, in our series. But we're actually doing more than a spin-off. We're telling the whole story, the multi-season show. So I can finally say, Kenneth, okay, we'll do the spin-off.
Yeah! Woo!
Now, for those of you who don't know as well, so Kenneth is writing on the series. He's one of the writers in the writers' room, but also he is going to be returning in front of the screen to play one of the characters, and we have mentioned who, but in different live streams. We haven't made like the official proper big announcement. So look out for our socials when we do that, or decide to troll back through our old live streams. But he will be making a return as a major character in the series of Testament. But it won't be as the same character. It's not going to be John Mark. That's what we know for certain. So the series takes place 20 years before the takes place 20 years before the movie. 20 years before the movie. So obviously the characters can't be the same, people can't be the same. If we want to use the same people, and then we'd have to find younger looking people of the people that are. It's too confusing. So we're doing a completely clean slate, starting again, and Kenneth will be joining us in front of the screen. Ken, what are you most looking forward to?
I think just the community aspect of, we really build like a community when we're working together, as in, and that I always say that comes from the top down. So you, and then you kind of form this community, which makes everyone just really feel comfortable to do their best work and have a blast on set, like, while at the same time growing and learning together. So I think that is what I'm mostly looking forward to. And obviously I've been blessed to be a part of this from, the beginning with like Toy and a few others, and seeing your vision come, through. I'm just excited to really, get to the first day of filming and being like, we're here. Do you know what I mean? So, we're not far, but yeah, we're getting there for sure.
We are. And to help us on that journey, to help us tell this story, you can head over to angel.com/testament, where you can invest. There is only like 10 hours left that we're open. After that, we close this investment round. And that's it for this investment round. So if you are wanting to invest, 10 hours? It keeps on going. Only 10 hours left. That's it. And then this closes. So invest if you haven't already and you wanted to.
Invest.
It's the kind of last chance for this investment round. So Ken, we're gonna show. Are you gonna stick with me? Because we'll show day 9 of our what's it called, rushes, and then we'll also show Meet the Council. So here's day 9 of our rushes. Then we'll do Meet the Council, and then we're going to do what no one's ever seen before, which is our bloopers. It's very short, actually, because there's not many, but there's just it was the day 10 rushes. But here's day 9, and then we'll move on.
Kingdom of heaven is like a man who found a treasure hidden in a field.
Well, how much does he want for it?
It's not as simple as that. There wasn't a number.
What do you mean?
He said however much I think it's worth. Not a penny more, not a penny less.
What did you tell him?
Keep going. You've got this, okay? You might need to stretch the story out a bit. We've got a long way to go.
Day 9.
Oh,
that was a nice day. That was a great day.
It was a great day.
And we had that was the first time I'd shown anyone like an in to one of the parables, because that's an odd one that we have a jump out as well. Normally we just in the story and then you stay in the story, but that one's a little bit different. But it was a fun day, and that was your introduction day.
Yeah, it was, and it was good because actually it was going into. That's my favorite parable. I think it always gets me. I always get emotional when I watch that parable. So going into that parable my first day is actually quite special, I think.
Yeah. So we talked about the council. We talked about how Kenneth was always asking for a spin off the council. So we did a quick video that just lets everyone and all our audiences meet the council. And here's that video.
They're all waiting in the council room. James is getting worried.
Understandably.
So I am the leader of the council. The great thing about James is that he's able to go from being a very fierce sort of leader when he needs to be, but he's also a people's person.
I'm underground in hiding when you find me in the film. I help make decisions on the council, but also someone that is reasonable, and I think he's a good member of the team.
Deborah's quite stern, very focused on what she does and very determined to get it right. She's dedicated to their cause. She's very suspicious of different people as well. She doesn't trust very easily because of all the things that she's been through and what she's seen. And you are?
Sorry. Hi.
That was our little video introducing the council. We've never showed that on a live stream before. I don't know why. I like it.
Yeah, no, it's really good. I was literally about to say make the spin-off, and then I was like, oh wait.
Evelyn just invested $500. Thank you so much, Evelyn. That's amazing.
Thanks,
Thank
Evelyn.
you so much. And if anyone else would also like to invest, head over to angel.com/testament. I also like that somebody wrote, just jumping on, can't stay, but wants to tell you, keep it going. God is behind this project. How much I appreciate and support this project. Keep going. God is behind this project. With lots of exclamation
Amen.
marks and lots of thumbs up. And I'm just saying thank you. That's a real encouragement. Definitely
Amen.
needed that.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. This live stream has been going on for a while, so I'm like, woohoo, keep going, keep going. Right, so okay, I shouldn't tease it any longer, really, because we've been waiting for these bloopers a long time, and you guys have been faithfully watching. There's still quite a few people on this chat, on this thing. You Kenneth, you kind of feature a little bit in these bloopers.
Oh gosh,
so-
I don't think have I seen these. I don't know.
Hey,
if
it was
I've
the day 10
I've actually-
rushes.
Oh, okay, no,
So
I
it
have
was
seen
the-
it. Okay.
It was the
I
bloopers
have
that I
seen
could
it,
find
okay.
quickest. So we do
Okay,
have more
okay.
bloopers, but I haven't gone through and found them. These are just a little thing, and also, a temple guard being a little bit silly. It starts very serious, but then we might do something a little bit funnier. So here is the final day of rushes, which includes some of our bloopers. Roll tape.
Rebecca, bring up people's histories. You did it.
And there we have it.
Oh, I
Our-
love it. Honestly, it makes me so excited to do it all over again. So excited.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Yeah, it was so much fun. Finding those was quite difficult, like, 'cause, trawling through. But my goodness, that was very very silly. Love the dancing temple guard. Yeah.
I
I'm
wonder
not
who
going
that
to
was.
reveal who that temple guard. No, we're not going to. We won't talk about who that temple guard is, Kenneth.
It might have been one of the crew getting silly, but just let's not. Yeah, it's just a temple guard, guys. That's all it is. But I also like Roper Kirby during those interviews that he was seeing. He said the perfect chair doesn't exist because definitely that chair that they're doing their interviews in for the council, that is the perfect chair. Guys, glad you enjoyed those bloopers. Very short, very slight. We'll have loads more, I'm sure, when it comes to the series, especially if Kenneth's involved, because Kenneth can't keep a straight face for long. He's too smiley. True. He's too giving of a generous and loving and kind spirit that it's just infectiously funny. That's my backhanded compliment, Kenneth.
I've got
right, guys.
I've got some questions.
Oh, sorry.
I've got some question. A quick question for you. Obviously, I've been watching, but the video live stream says the director's favorite moment. So I just wanted to know, because I don't think I've ever asked you, what is your favorite moment?
Oh, my favorite.
I'm so sorry to put you on the spot.
I think
the viewers want to know.
Yeah, I've got a few, but oh wow, sorry. Covenant just invested $250. Thank you so much, and thank you for getting me out of that question. We'll carry on with our. No, joking. I do have a few. I love the opening, but my favorite moment is in the chase, and it's when the Spirit speaks to Luke. It's that moment where the camera suddenly stops. It goes into slow motion, and we track around Luke. And funnily enough, a train went past just at the right time and actually just starts ruffling his hair. So that's not real wind; it's just train driving by. But it's that little bit of movie magic. And then obviously Barnabas's voiceover, echoing the words that are said to Elijah. In the Old Testament, just that the Spirit's voice isn't, don't look for it in the quakes or the fire, but in a gentle whisper. And I just think that moment is, because it's almost the first time the Holy Spirit, actively makes an entrance within the story in Testament, the parables retold. Looking forward to the series when it's just day one and off we go. But I think it's quite poignant to me. I really wanted to get that right. So I think as a singular moment, the scenes that I think are very cool, but as a singular moment, I think that would probably be my favorite.
That's a good shout, bro.
So guys, we are nearly done with our live stream, but if you have any questions, do put them in, and Ryan will pop them up, and I will be able to answer them. Maybe Kenneth will be able to answer some as well. I saw somebody in the comments somewhere asked what character Kenneth's going to be. He thinks he knows as well. He said, "Isn't he one of the apostles?" Maybe not. He's going to be Apostle John, isn't he? Don't ruin things. Maybe not. Yes, probably, maybe. We haven't confirmed anything yet. We've talked, and we've, but Kenneth, is that your lying face? That's a great one.
I was trying so hard as well, bro.
Oh, it's fantastic. Don't worry. You own it. And if you haven't already and you are wanting to invest in the series, guys, head over to angel.com/testament. We only have, I think, 10 and a bit hours left. After that, this investment round closes. So you can't do anything after that in terms of investment. I did see somebody ask a question earlier if only people in the US can invest. And that is true, because Testament Pictures LLC, which is the company that has the rights to Testament, is making Testament. That's the company that people are investing in. That is a US-based company, and there are certain regulations when you come to a CF round where only American citizens can invest. So yes, however, if you want to support the project and you don't mind not investing, you can pay it forward on the movie. So you can actually go to the Angel Studios app or the website, and you can pay it forward for more people to watch. It makes sure that the film stays free, but also the profits go towards the production budget. So that is a way that you can be actively involved, you can support, but it's not the same as an investment. Because an investment, you're actually owning a part of the show, you're owning a part of the series, so that if the show makes money, if the show makes a profit, you would actually share in those profits. Obviously, can't make any promise of returns. That's just not allowed to do that, and nor should anyone do that. But if it were to, you would join in the returns of that project. And of this project, of Testament. So that's what we're doing right now. You can invest over at angel.com/testament. I'm just having a look at some of the comments. It is a beautiful moment. Oh, the Holy Spirit moment. Yeah, it is. Just as a beautiful moment in each of our lives when we first feel the urging of the Holy Spirit. It's very, very true.
Yeah.
Kenneth, I think that's it for me. It's been a 3-hour live stream going strong.
Yeah.
No, it's been great.
Yeah,
it's been great having you.
Yeah,
I'm just glad that people are watching, people are taking in. What was lovely is getting to introduce some people that we've never met. Like, no one's ever met Ed before, our composer. No one ever met Josh on our proper big live streams before. So that was quite nice to introduce people to those incredible talents. I enjoyed that.
And they did great interviews
and Eleanor.
as well. Really. Yeah, really great interviews and really insightful as well.
Yeah, they're great. A lot of that team are going to be returning. Obviously, Toyasi won't be able to because she is bossing it, studying at a very, very high-end school to be a producer, which is amazing. She's incredible. But everyone else, as far as I know, will be returning in some way or another, which is great. Or at least I want them to, and I hope they do. But we'll see. We'll see. It's coming along soon. I'm excited for it. I just can't wait to film that first scene, that day of Pentecost moment, because the way we've approached it is exciting. It's fresh. It's going to be, I can't wait. I so love these stories and these accounts of the Book of Acts. So to put it on screen, what a dream, right?
Yeah, it's going to be amazing.
Guys, thank you so much. One last time, head over to angel.com/testament. There's only 10 hours left to invest. So if you want to invest, do that in the next 10 hours. But that is all from us. We love you. We really appreciate you. Thank you for everyone who has invested. What an incredible privilege. What an incredible moment. I feel amazing about it all. And I know Kenneth does too. And I know the rest of the Testament team do too.
Okay.
We love you. We'll leave you with our current video that we're doing for where we talk about the series. So it'll be me again, but a little bit of everything else as well. Thank you guys so much. See you next time, and God bless.
Testament is a new multi-season series retelling the stories of the early church as found in the book of Acts. But, and here's the twist, set in an alternate modern day. A world that looks very similar to ours, feels very similar to ours, only with a few major differences. The primary one being that the world still hasn't had the impact of the good news of Jesus, and it's still full of the same dangers and wonders that the first century church lived through. If you'd like to help us bring these stories into our time, making them all the more real to us today, then click or visit angel.com/testament now. The stories of the Bible are full of drama, danger, mystery, intrigue, and thrills, yet a lot of the time people miss it. I know so many from my generation and younger who find the biblical text hard to engage with. They either disconnect from the archaic language, from the real people that's being depicted on the page, or sometimes, dare I say it, even the tunics and sandals that's presented to us on screen. Present company accepted, of course. I mean, who doesn't like The Chosen? And yet, when the accounts in the Bible are depicted in ways that audiences can connect to, and more importantly, relate to, then the Bible opens up to them in powerful ways. I still remember the first time I was shown a depiction of the book of Numbers in a visual way. Suddenly, I couldn't wait to read it. I understood it more fully and I just thoroughly enjoyed it. And that's the book of Numbers. Artists in past generations did a similar thing. They would paint scenes from the life of Christ or Mary or the apostles as if they lived in their day. Italian painters painted the apostles as if they were in 16th century Italy. Dutch painters as if they were Dutch. The Eastern Orthodox Church has got a great tradition of doing the same thing. And these depictions made the Bible more, not less real for the people. The book of Acts is one of my favourites. After all, it's the very story that you and I are continuing now, today. And in this series, we want to explore the characters of Peter, Mary, Stephen, John, Saul of Tarsus, and many more, and how these real people relate to us today. And also how these stories relate to the tribulations many church communities around the world still face. It's certainly a very different and bold direction to take for this story, and we are delighted to be partnering with Angel Studios for the distribution of Testament. I personally was overjoyed to see a series such as The Chosen work alongside Angel Studios to bring in not only nearly 500 million views so far and over $100 million in revenue, already impressive, but to see the impact that it's having amongst its viewers all around the world is incredible.
Not too shabby.
See, a series like Testament doesn't belong in the Hollywood system. It belongs to us. It belongs to you. We would love to invite you to partner with us in the making of Testament and to own a part of the series. Plus, bonus, own a part of the already completed film. So, head over to angel.com/testament. Together, we can retell this beautiful and uplifting story to a world that can't wait to see it.